Chapter 1621. Kill. Night Sorrow and his doppelganger attacked at the same time, using some deceptive tactics to kill Lily's original body. The spectators outside the cage all gasped. Night Sorrow's killing power was too strong. Lily's original body and doppelganger attacked with phantom energy clones. It was almost an unbreakable situation, but Night Sorrow managed to kill the original body. Lily's original body, doppelganger, and phantom energy clones could confuse people with lower cultivation levels, but the spectators could still distinguish between the thearchs and heaven monarchs. Hence, they knew that Night Sorrow had killed the most crucial opponent, the original body. Night Sorrow's doppelganger waved his arm and took Lily's original body storage ring and weapon. Then, he charged at Lily's doppelganger. Lily didn't have time to think about how his original body died instantly. He quickly used phantom energy clones again, at least to protect his doppelganger's life. I gave you a chance, but you didn't want it. You still have 60% of your energy left. Can you still use phantom energy clones after using 40%? Night Sorrow said. Then, his original body and doppelganger used spatial rend and soul extinguishing slash at the phantom energy clones left behind by Lily. After using the long-range control combat skills, Night Sorrow's doppelganger used true dragon destructive art to attack the phantom energy clones that were blocked by spatial rend. Without any hesitation, Lily's phantom energy clones were destroyed by Night Sorrow's doppelganger. Lily, who had a strong sense of danger, quickly used phantom energy clones again. With one phantom energy clones around, he could switch positions when his doppelganger was in danger. It was useless. Lily's phantom energy clones would be controlled by Night Sorrow's long-range attacks and then killed. After experiencing a setback, the battle of attrition was back to a battle of attrition. However, the situation was completely different. At that time, the advantages and disadvantages weren't too obvious. Now, Lily could be killed at any time. Night Sorrow didn't let Lily drag things out. From time to time, he would increase the intensity of his attacks and constantly destroy Lily's phantom energy clones. With a strong sense of danger, Lily always maintained 2 phantom energy clones. If it had only been a phantom, Night Sorrow's ranged attacks and crowd control skills would have instantly destroyed it. This situation only lasted for a while before Lily couldn't hold on any longer. He had consumed too much energy, so he couldn't use the phantom doppelganger. Seeing that his opponent no longer had any life-saving skills, Night Sorrow's main body blocked Lily's escape route and directly used True Dragon Destruction spell to control Lily's body. At this time, Yuan Ji, who was sitting on the blood battle platform, stood up and walked outside. After walking a few feet, he stretched out his left hand and the colored glazed saint bone that was originally inserted in the pillar of the cage fell into his hand. With the colored glass saint bone in hand, Yuan Ji left the blood battle arena in a flash. Yuan Ji knew that Lily had lost. Taking advantage of the fact that things weren't set in stone, he left immediately. Old man, how dare you? Tsang Ning was enraged when she saw Yuan Ji running away after taking the bet. Her body flickered as she chased after Yuan Ji. Yuan Ji's actions were tantamount to tearing down the blood battle arena's signboard and slapping the face of a notary like her. How could Tsang Ning tolerate this? She directly started the chase. Inside the cage, Night Sorrow's main body and doppelganger's secret arts landed on Lily's body and killed him. After collecting the battle spoils, Night Sorrow ran out of the cage opened by Fu Wu. Night Sorrow, that bastard, took the bet and ran away. Datura's face was full of anger. Yuan Ji was too shameless. He didn't even care about his reputation. Not to mention a monarch-level cultivator. Even a Saint King would disdain doing such a thing. Don't worry, he will definitely come up with an explanation. Night Sorrow said. He understood that Yuan Ji couldn't afford to lose this because the colored glass saint bone was a part of his strength. Night Sorrow, the blood battle arena will handle this matter. Fu Wu said to Night Sorrow. Don't worry. Night Sorrow nodded. He didn't chase after them. The battle between Song Ning and Yuan Ji wasn't something he could participate in. Song Ning chased Yuan Ji out of the blood battle arena and kept attacking from behind. Yuan Ji flew quickly and dodged Song Ning's sword chi attacks at the same time. Lin Xian, who was watching the battle from the highest pavilion in the blood battle arena, stood up from her seat. You can't stand without integrity. Lin Xian didn't follow to watch. She was the ethereal battle empress and didn't want to participate in some conflicts. Besides, she also knew that Yuan Ji wasn't Song Ning's opponent. At most, he could only protect himself. After a while, Night Sorrow and Datura left the blood battle arena with Hong Yi and the others. Back at the Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. Ah Luo, there's nothing to be angry about. Yuan Ji will definitely give an explanation. If he doesn't, he won't be able to survive in the ethereal empire. Datura sat down. I'm just angry. What kind of person is he? He's completely shameless. What do you mean shameless? Lin Xian came back and sat opposite Night Sorrow and Datura. Datura told her about what had happened today. Losing his integrity means losing his reputation. His loss is actually much more than the colored glaze sacred bone. You guys don't have to worry. I think this matter will be resolved. Lin Xian said. Yuan Ji is the great elder of the ethereal empire. Excluding his identity and status, he's very strong. Palace Lord Song might be able to defeat him, but it'll be difficult for him to get back what he lost. The key is what the ethereal battle empress thinks of this matter and how she'll deal with it. Night Sorrow said as he poured a cup of water for Lin Xian. What do you think of this matter? Lin Xian asked Night Sorrow after receiving the tea. The ethereal battle empress will definitely deal with it, but she won't be too strict. After all, they've been subordinates for many years. However, if the ethereal battle empress is a sensible person, she won't let Yuan Ji be the great elder of the ethereal empire. If such a person with no integrity and integrity continues to be the great elder, it'll be an insult to countless people in the ethereal empire. It'll also cause the ethereal empire's prestige and fortune to decline. Night Sorrow said. That's right. I think the ethereal battle empress will make the same arrangement. How can a person with no integrity be in a high position? Lin Xian looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. She had already made up her mind. She asked to see what Night Sorrow thought of this matter. Regarding the recovery of the bet, Lin Xian decided to wait and see how Song Ning would deal with it. She couldn't tolerate this matter, because it involved the face of the ethereal empire. After sitting for a while, Lin Xian left the Night Moon Villa and returned to the City Lord Mansion, waiting for the situation to develop. Regardless of whether it was Yuan Ji or Song Ning, one of them would definitely come looking for her. Both Song Ning and Yuan Ji were Emperor Realm cultivators, and their cultivation bases were similar. It would be very difficult to kill one of them. Yuan Ji chose to run instead of fighting, and Song Ning couldn't do anything to him. Even if he scolded him, Yuan Ji wouldn't talk back. If you keep running, I'll kill my way to your Yuan family. Song Ning couldn't do anything to Yuan Ji, so he said. Song Ning, remember this. I'm not done with you. Yuan Ji was also very angry. If Song Ning hadn't interfered, he wouldn't be in such a miserable state. Top 3. Chapter 1622. Right now, they were already some distance away from Ethereal City. Song Ning turned around and rushed back. If Yuan Ji did not want to fight, she would not be able to kill him in a short time. She might as well go back and deal with his foundation. As Song Ning walked back, Yuan Ji followed far behind. He was naturally worried that Song Ning would cause trouble, which would cause him great losses. Song Ning turned his head and glanced at Yuan Ji, who was following him from afar. You dare to be shameless in front of me? I, Song Ning, will not tolerate it. Later, I will challenge you to a duel under the blood battle platform. Song Ning sped up. Hearing Song Ning's words, Yuan Ji knew that he had gotten himself into big trouble. Song Ning would not let this matter go. Song Ning, we can talk. Tell me, how can you let go? After thinking for a while, Yuan Ji opened his mouth. If you want to solve this, take out the colored glass Saint Bone, and I will not pursue this matter. Otherwise, you will not be able to live in peace. I will eradicate the Yuan family first, then kill you. Song Ning turned around and shouted. She was truly angry now. Yuan Ji did not reply, because he would not hand over the colored glass Saint Bone no matter what. That would cause him to lose 1/3 of his battle power, which would hurt his foundation. If the Yuan family suffered a blow, he would have a chance to recover. Even if he could not survive in ethereal imperial city, he could go somewhere else to develop. However, a treasure like the colored glass Saint Bone was something that he could not afford to lose. He would not have the chance to get it again. Translator, Nyoibo Studio Editor, Nyoibo Studio. Returning to ethereal imperial city, Song Ning flew all the way. Whenever she saw the Yuan family's properties, she would directly rob them and set them on fire. She had broken the rules of ethereal imperial city. However, if this matter reached ethereal battle emperor, she would not be the one in the wrong. It was Yuan Ji who did not follow the rules and violated the blood battle stage's rules first. Yuan Ji, who was following behind, thought for a while and did not continue to follow. Instead, he left. After leaving, Yuan Ji took the teleportation array back to the Yuan family. He quickly gathered the important members of the family and sent out a notice to gather all the family's resources. Then, he quickly left and hid in the Sky General region. The Sky General region was where Yuan Ji was born, and was ruled by the Yuan family. With Song Ning going crazy, Yuan Ji had no choice but to make some preparations. The situation was too serious, and it was normal for Song Ning to fight his way into the Yuan family's territory. If he did not make some preparations, he would suffer a great loss. After plundering a few of the Yuan family's properties, Song Ning went to the mayor's mansion. Although he found out that Lin Xianer was there, he did not go to see her. Song Ning subconsciously did not want to bring trouble to Lin Xianer. She felt that if she went to talk to her, Lin Xianer would have to deal with it and some things would be difficult for her. When they arrived at the Song Ning army's encampment, Song Ning called for another general, Su Fei. Take the people and clean out the Yuan family's power and properties in the ethereal imperial city. However, all the resources must be handed over to the city lord mansion. Song Ning said. Song Ning was attacking the Yuan family to vent his anger and protect the dignity of the blood battle platform. However, he had no intention of benefiting himself. In addition, the management of the city lord's mansion's resources was not something that Yuan Ji, the Grand Elder, could control by himself. Yuan family. Elder Yuan's family. The middle-aged man in black robes, Su Fei, asked. Yes, there is no need to worry. I will bear all the consequences. Song Ning said. The consequences are not important. I just want to confirm it. I will go now. Su Fei cupped his hands towards Song Ning and then went to gather the people. Su Fei was the #1 general of the Song Ning army. He had also reached a bottleneck and was looking for a breakthrough. Therefore, Song Ning would not look for him for ordinary matters. After Su Fei gathered the people, Song Ning went to the Night Moon Villa. Some things were her mistakes, and she had to give Night Sorrow an explanation. Whether it was from the perspective of a friend or from the perspective of a champion of the blood battle platform, she had to greet him. When Song Ning arrived, Night Sorrow was talking with Datura. The two of them were discussing whether they should buy some properties in the ethereal imperial city and find something that could provide them with a continuous income. Night Sorrow, today's matter was my mistake. I am already dealing with it. Tsang Ning said. Boss Tsang, have a seat. It is not a big deal. Yuan Ji's move was also unexpected. What he did was indeed a loss to me, but his loss was even greater. To him, the glass Saint Bone is his life, but to me, it is just an external object. Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that Tsang Ning was feeling guilty, and this was not something he wanted to see. It is rare for you to think like this. It will be hard to get the glass Saint Bone back. I can suppress him, but I cannot kill him. He is only running now, and there is nothing I can do. However, if I cannot get the glass Saint Bone back, then this matter will not be over. I set fire to some of the properties of the Yuan family. Right now, the Tsang Ning army has already launched an all-out attack on the Yuan family. Tsang Ning explained some of his arrangements. Boss Tsang, this is not appropriate. This kind of conflict is not what the Misty Battle Emperor wants to see. It will only bring trouble to you. Please stop. As for the anger, we will think of something later. Night Sorrow said. He did not want to anger the Misty Battle Emperor and make Tsang Ning suffer because of this matter. Do not worry. If the Battle Emperor has made a decision, he will summon me. Tsang Ning shook her head. She naturally understood that Lin Xianer knew the whole story. If there were any arrangements, she would come to her. If not, she could do whatever she wanted. If that is the case, then I will not say anything more. But, Boss Tsang, remember this. This matter is nothing to me. I will remember it. But, I am not in a hurry. As long as I am alive, as long as I work hard, he will give me an answer sooner or later. You must not bring trouble to yourself because of this. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Tsang Ning. He. Even at this time, you are still thinking about your friend. Wu Fing has a good eye for a brother. I have not misjudged you either. Tsang Ning smiled. She was very pleased. This was what a friend should be like. Haha, of course. Night Sorrow nodded. Seeing Tsang Ning smile, he felt a bit more at ease. He truly did not want to bring trouble to Tsang Ning. At this time, Wu Fing came over. His face was not looking good. Tsang Ning, you have made a move against the Yuan family. What do you need me to do? What is going on today? I am very pleased with the attitude of you two brothers. One of you is thinking about me and is afraid that I will get involved. The other, who has been unwilling to help me for many years, is also taking the initiative to help. Tsang Ning said. What are you talking about? Who is unwilling to help you? It is because you have not been in trouble all these years. I do not care if you bully others, but if anyone bullies you, I will not allow it. Wu Fing said. Wu Fing, I am very sorry. Only now do I truly understand you. Tsang Ning cupped her hands towards Wu Fing. Wu Fing's words had touched a chord in her heart. Chapter 1623. Stop sighing. You have already made a move on the Yuan family, so you have to have a plan. You have to consider the consequences and the consequences. Shut up. Wu Fing said. Then I will not hold back. Right now, the problem is Yuan Ji. He does not want to fight with me. Seeing me make a move, he runs. His godly step art is very advanced. Without the influence of fighting, I cannot do anything to him. So, if he dares to come out, you help me stop him. Don't run. I will kill him no matter what. Tsang Ning was very angry. All right, I will follow you these 2 days. If we see him, we will kill him. Wu Fing nodded. Tsang Ning nodded, feeling very gratified. Although he had been tricked by Yuan Ji, seeing Night Sorrow and Wu Fing as friends was enough for him. "What do you need me to do?" Night Sorrow asked. "I will not be in the blood battle arena these few days. You go there every day and take care of the situation. If there are any troublemakers or people who challenge the reputation of the blood battle arena, you will kill them for me." Tsang Ning took out a token and pushed it in front of Night Sorrow. "All right, if it is not a monarch grade, I will help you. If it is a monarch grade, I can't do anything about it. They will kill me in 2 or 3 moves." Night Sorrow put away the token with the word battle on it. "I don't like to bully the weak. If an emperor level wants to cause trouble in the blood battle arena, just inject your energy into the token. I'll deal with it." Tsang Ning nodded at Yishan. After chatting for a while, Tsang Ning and Wu Fing left. Tsang Ning's army was attacking the Yuan family, so they had to watch and make sure nothing went wrong. After arranging for the important people of the family to retreat, Yuan Ji thought for a while and returned to the ethereal imperial city. There were some things he had to take care of, and it would be best if he could solve them. When Yuan Ji arrived at the ethereal imperial city, he saw that the Yuan family's businesses were in a mess. He did not expect Tsang Ning to really do such a thing. If this continued, there would be no chance of reconciliation. After thinking for a while, Yuan Ji arrived at the city lord mansion. When he arrived, Yuan Ji found Lin Xianer there, so he hurried to see her. "Lord Battle Emperor, please stop Tsang Ning. She's gone mad. She's been attacking my properties. She's committed all sorts of crimes." Yuan Ji bowed. "Then why?" Lin Xianer, who had been resting on the city lord's chair with her eyes closed, opened her eyes. Yuan Ji thought for a moment and said, I might have offended her, so she's trying to get revenge. You don't even care about your face for the sake of the colored glass sacred bone. You slapped Tsang Ning's face, and Tsang Ning retaliated. Is that her fault? What kind of philosophy is this? Is it because I have let you do whatever you want all these years that you have no boundaries in doing things? Or do you think that nothing matters? Lin Xianer's eyes were filled with a cold light. She was disgusted with the attitude of someone who could cause trouble but could not handle it. The only authentic version, the rest are all pirated versions. Yuan Ji bowed. I know I was wrong, but please help me this time. First of all, you lost the Drifting Cloud Mountain Manor. That was the place I gave you to settle down. It's fine if you don't want it. I won't make a fuss about it. Then, you used the colored glass sacred bone to gamble. Didn't you think of losing? There are winners and losers in gambling. You didn't admit your loss and went to slap the face of the Blood Battle Arena's champion? Or do you, as the Great Elder, intend to slap the face of the Ethereal Empire with your lack of credibility? Lin Xianer stood up. In her heart, if it was Tsang Ning who came to find her, then it was still acceptable. However, Yuan Ji came to talk bad about Tsang Ning. This was not something she could tolerate. Tsang Ning was her subordinate. She would treat her equally in official matters. Apart from the status of a subordinate, Tsang Ning was still her family and was her sister. Lord Battle Emperor, I know I was wrong. Please give me another chance. The corner of Yuan Ji's eyes twitched. He knew that Lin Xianer was angry. You don't have a chance. Seeing that you followed this king for so many years, this king won't kill you, nor will I ask for the colored glass sacred bone from you. It belongs to whoever it belongs to, and this king doesn't care who it belongs to in the future. However, you, Yuan Ji, are no longer an elder of the Mishti dynasty. The city lord's mansion forbids you from entering. Lin Xianer's words were not only heard by Yuan Ji, but also by everyone in the Ethereal Empire. This was because Lin Xianer's words were transmitted using the rules of heaven and earth. Yuan Ji bowed and left the city lord mansion. Lin Xianer was furious, but he didn't dare to argue. If she wanted to kill him, he wouldn't have the power to fight back. After leaving the city lord mansion, Yuan quickly flew to the Yuan family's businesses that hadn't been cleaned out yet to collect resources before retreating. He knew that without his status as the head elder of the ethereal city lord mansion, he wouldn't be able to establish himself in the ethereal empire. With his status as the grand elder, only Tsang dared to go against him. No one else dared to make a move against him. However, things were different now that the ethereal battle emperor had stripped him of his status as the grand elder of the city lord's mansion. As long as Tsang gave the order, the 7 prefecture lords would come to his aid. There were many people who disliked him. Yuan quickly collected resources to avoid losses. However, the Tsang army was even faster. Right now, Ping Wanli and Kai Wu had also brought their people to join the cleanup. The Tsang army was like a tiger and a wolf. Their style was fast, and their cleanup speed was extremely fast. Yuan didn't manage to get many resources. He had to hide from the 3 leaders of the Tsang army. None of them could beat him, but he couldn't kill them quickly either. During this time, Tsang and the other leaders of the Tsang army would arrive, and that would be his nightmare. Seeing the Tsang army take the lead and destroy his businesses, Yuan was furious. "Tsang, you bitch. I will kill you for sure." After cursing Tsang, Yuan left the ethereal imperial city. "If you dare to touch her, you won't have the chance to leave here alive next time." A human figure appeared behind Yuan. It was Lin Xianer. After Yuan left the city lord's residence, Lin Xianer hid in the dark. She was worried that Yuan would make a move and that Tsang wouldn't take precautions. She was also worried that Yuan would go to extremes and cause trouble at the Night Moon Villa. She was very angry when she heard that Yuan wanted to kill Tsang. She always knew that Yuan didn't do things openly, but she didn't expect him to have no bottom line. Seeing that Yuan had left, Lin Xianer thought for a moment. Then, she went to the Night Moon Villa. When she arrived at the Night Moon Villa, the coldness on her face disappeared and was replaced by a faint smile. "Which one is me?" Lin Xianer muttered to herself as she entered the Night Moon Villa. "Sister Xianer, you're back. Did you hear the Battle Empress announcement? It's just as we expected. Looks like she's still very fair." Knight Sorrow said when he saw Lin Xianer. "Of course. Do you think she's not fair?" Lin Xianer looked at Knight Sorrow and asked with a smile. She wanted to know what Knight Sorrow thought of the ethereal Battle Empress. Speak. Chapter 1624. What I said just now was a little wrong. Fairness and justice are relative. Knight Sorrow shook his head after hearing Lin Xianer's words. "Looks like you have a lot of opinions of your own. Let's sit down and talk. I want to hear what you think of the word fairness." Lin Xianer sat down and said. "Everyone has their own judgment of fairness. In fact, this has a lot to do with the way people do things. Let me first talk about my opinion. I won't hide it from Sister Xianer. I am a domain lord and I will do my best to be fair in terms of management. However, I have brothers and friends. If they cause trouble, I will educate them myself. If the problem is too big, I will punish them myself. I will not allow others to beat or scold them. Of course, if their conduct is bad, they will not be my friends or brothers." Knight Sorrow said with a smile. "That's very insightful." Lin Xian nodded. "Everyone has feelings. Besides fairness, there are also feelings. The benevolent see benevolence, the wise see wisdom." Knight Sorrow added. "The 2 sides in this conflict are Yuan and Tsang, both subordinates of the War Emperor. Not to mention how long Tsang has been with the War Emperor, Yuan character is not good. This is the fundamental problem. Therefore, he was stripped of his position as Great Elder." Lin Xianer smiled. She felt that Night Sorrow had the same thoughts as her. This bastard cheated us of a part of the colored glass sacred bone. This matter is not over. Datura was still angry. It's not important. Actually, my body is the colored glass bone. If I enter the Emperor realm, my body will be the colored glass golden bone. How am I inferior to him? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Sure. Yishang, don't speak carelessly. It's not a good thing to be targeted by someone with dark intentions. Treasuring a jade ring becomes a crime. The saying goes that the most you'll lose is the treasure. If you've been schemed against, what will you lose? Lin Xian waved her hand to interrupt Yishang. I know. I won't spout nonsense in the future. Night Sorrow nodded. After receiving news about the colored glass body and colored glass bone, Night Sorrow judged his own body. His bones were sparkling and translucent. That was the colored glass bone. You really have to be careful in the future. Lin Xian reminded Night Sorrow. She also understood that Night Sorrow truly treated her as a friend, otherwise he would not have mentioned this matter. Night Sorrow stood up and said, Aluo, you accompany Sister Xian. I'll go to the blood battle arena to take a look. I'll do what Sangning asked me to do. What did she ask you to do? She's not going to do it herself. Lin Xian asked. Boss Tsang is really angry this time, so she's not done with Yuan Ji. She's probably going after Yuan Ji right now. She wants me to go to the blood battle arena to help her. If anyone dares to cause trouble, she'll kill them, Night Sorrow said. I heard from Tsang Ning that you just joined the blood battle arena. Will the people there recognize you? Lin Xian asked. Then I'll try to see if this token works. Night Sorrow showed Tsang Ning's token to Lin Xian, and left. Tsang Ning is a good friend. Friends should look out for each other. Lin Xian looked at Night Sorrow's back and sighed. Datura smiled, aren't we also your friends? If you have something to do, Night Sorrow won't refuse. Lin Xian nodded. She knew what the blood battle token was. It was the highest token in the blood battle arena, and she had personally refined it. Tsang Ning giving this token to Night Sorrow was a sign of complete trust. Night Sorrow did not let Tsang Ning down. Looking at Datura, Lin Xian took out a black stone and handed it to Datura. What's this? Looking at the stone in front of him, Datura was a little surprised because the stone was emitting a very strong aura. It's the origin stone of destruction. Night Sorrow has the underworld stone. I can tell that this stone has the same effect as the underworld stone. You're now a half-step Great Emperor, a cultivator of the death attribute. When you reach the Great Emperor realm, your specialty is the domain of death. The power of the domain of death is enough to deal with ordinary Great Emperor realm cultivators, but it's inevitable that there will be strong opponents. Since you've refined the origin stone of destruction, the power of the domain of death will increase by a lot. You can give it a try. Lin Xian said. Thank you, Sister Xian. Datura cupped his hands towards Lin Xian. You're welcome. Don't tell Night Sorrow about this. We're all friends. I don't want him to feel that I owe him a favor because of this. That would go against my original intention. Lin Xian said. Datura nodded. He understood Lin Xian's meaning. When they arrived at the blood battle arena, Night Sorrow and Fu Wu drank tea and chatted in a private room. Night Sorrow told Fu Wu about Song Ning's intentions and also showed him the token that Song Ning had given him. Greetings, Lord. After seeing the token, Fu Wu stood up and saluted Night Sorrow. Brother Fu, what are you doing? Night Sorrow reached out and helped Fu Wu up. The blood battle token is the highest token in the blood battle arena. Seeing it is like seeing the champion. Fu Wu said. Boss Tsang, this is too serious. Brother Fu, I don't know the rules here. If you need me to fight, just let me know. I won't care about anything else. Night Sorrow said. Fu Wu nodded. He still didn't understand why Tsang Ning had given the blood battle token to Night Sorrow. With the blood battle token, one could even empty the blood battle arena's storehouse. There were at least 30 million Saint Spirit stones there. After Fu Wu left, Night Sorrow sat in the private room and meditated. At this moment, the ethereal dynasty was undergoing a huge change. The properties that originally belonged to the Yuan clan were swept away and taken back by the City Lord Mansion. Why, although the Yuan clan had suffered a great blow, Tsang Ning didn't get any benefits from it. This was her principle. The ethereal dynasty didn't belong to her. After cleaning up the Yuan clan's influence in the ethereal imperial city, Tsang Ning and Wu Feng led the Tsang Ning army directly to the Yuan clan's territory and occupied the main city, Yuan City. However, the city was already empty. There were no important people there, and the Yuan clan's core members and resources had all disappeared. Shameless old man, running fast. Tsang Ning said with hatred. She was very angry that she couldn't catch Yuan Ji. Under such circumstances, she owed Night Sorrow an explanation. Tsang Ning, don't be angry. The effect this time is enough. Night Sorrow won't care about this. Wu Feng already knew the whole story. I know. I'm just angry that Yuan Ji can be so shameless. I didn't guard against him at that time. Tsang Ning said. She really didn't expect Yuan Ji to go back on his words. You can't be blamed for this. He gave up his face. Let's deal with this here and go back. You need to report this to the Battle Emperor as well. Wu Feng said. Night Sorrow stayed in the blood battle arena until evening. After watching the battle, he returned to the Night Moon Villa. At the entrance of the villa, he saw Luo Yuandao and Luo Fei in black robes. Chapter 1625. Seeing the two of them, Night Sorrow's fighting spirit burst out. He grabbed the space-splitting spear with his right hand. Don't misunderstand. We're just here to visit. We don't have any hostility. Luo Yuandao said. Principal Luo, we don't have any friendship. Don't you think it's too fake? Night Sorrow was still very vigilant. Luo Yuandao looked at Yi Shang and said, Teacher Yi, you're overthinking things. This is a residence that was given to us by the Battle Emperor. No one would dare to attack this place. Yuan Ji's status as the Great Elder was abolished by the Battle Emperor. Do you think I would go and test the Battle Emperor's authority? Principal Luo, please. After listening to Luo Yuandao's words, Night Sorrow knew that Luo Yuandao didn't have any malicious intentions. The truth was as Luo Yuandao had said. Entering the Night Moon Manor to cause trouble was tantamount to challenging Sir Battle Emperor's authority. It was courting death. Night Sorrow invited Luo Yuandao and Luo Fei into the hall of the Night Moon Manor. Night Sorrow still couldn't figure out what Luo Yuandao meant. Night Sorrow hadn't figured out the reason why Luo Yuandao had directly retreated in the blood battle arena. After sitting down, Luo Yuandao smiled. Sir Battle Emperor gave this mansion to Yuan Ji because he was the Great Elder. Therefore, this is the best mansion. I was just lucky, that's all, Yi Shan said. We had some conflicts a while ago. This is our Shadow Mansion's fault. We linked it to you because of an assassin. Besides, it's true that the assassin completed the task, but the root of the problem lies with the person who gave the task. It has nothing to do with you or the assassin. Luo Yuandao said after sitting down. Principal Luo, you're very courageous. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Luo Yuandao. Luo Yuandao had directly made his attitude clear. Although it wasn't magnanimity, it was at least courage. There's no courage or lack of courage. We did something to you in the blood battle arena. This is something we owe you. Therefore, we're here to resolve this misunderstanding. Luo Yuandao stared at Night Sorrow and said, Since Prefecture Lord Luo has personally paid a visit, I, Yi Shang, will not hold a grudge against the Heaven Monarch challenge from the Umbra Prefecture. Fights between cultivators are common. Even if it isn't a misunderstanding, it can still be resolved. Yi Shang expressed his attitude. Luo Yuandao's words. Luo Yuandao. Luo Yuandao, and good. F. Master. There were no fools in this world. Luo Yuandao taught his children to not treat others as fools. Luo Fei understood that Night Sorrow knew that Night Sorrow was the one who killed his main body. There was no point in hiding it. If they wanted to build a good relationship, they had to show their attitude. This way, the visit wouldn't be wasted. After all, his father had lowered himself to visit. Luo Fei knew that he had to seize the opportunity. All right. I will definitely drink this wine. Young Principal's main body was destroyed, but he didn't hold a grudge against the assassin. Night Sorrow is impressed. I think the assassin didn't have any grudges with young Principal. He was just carrying out a mission and didn't involve anything else. Night Sorrow said. All right. You are young and have many topics to talk about. Let's meet more in the future. Master Knight, you can visit the Shadow Mansion when you are free. I will take my leave first. Luo Yuandao stood up. He was here to express his attitude. Night Sorrow personally sent Luo Yuandao and Luo Fei out of the Night Moon Manor. Night Sorrow, what is the relationship between this father and son? They made things clear and even showed a friendly attitude. Datura was a little puzzled. Luo Yuandao isn't simple. He is a real ambitious person who can rise and fall. They knew that I killed Luo Fei's main body long ago. They must have analyzed it from the Green Lotus Jade bracelet. Besides, Luo Fei has some memories of my aura. That's why he sent a Heaven Monarch to fight with me. However, after Tsang Ning expressed his attitude, he retreated without hesitation. This means that he doesn't want to be my enemy and offend Tsang Ning. Night Sorrow said. He had his own analysis. Indeed, to be able to do this is courage. His son is also very capable. His main body was destroyed, but he still said that he didn't hold a grudge. Whether it is true or not, this is very rare. Datura nodded. It should be true. Whoever has killing intent or enmity towards me won't be able to hide it from me. The light of virtue will react. We have to establish ourselves in the ethereal empire and understand the key figures in the ethereal empire in the future. Night Sorrow said. After today's incident, he knew that he had to pay attention to Luo Yuandao and Luo Fei. You guys are a little slow. I have already done some understanding of some people, but you guys haven't even started. Lin Xian smiled and sat opposite Night Sorrow. Then, Lin Xian told Night Sorrow that the first among the 7 prefecture lords of the ethereal empire was Tsang Ning, followed by Luo Yuandao and Lin Qixing. Tsang Ning's strength was publicly acknowledged. He was in the top 3 in the ethereal empire, followed by Luo Yuandao. Luo Yuandao's strongest point is his ability to judge the situation and develop according to the general trend. Apart from combat strength, he is the best among the 7 prefecture lords. He can rise and fall and has a long-term vision. This could be seen from the son he brought with him today. He has many children, so why did he bring his son, whose original body was destroyed and has yet to recover, out on business? It's because he thinks highly of this son of his, because he thinks that this son of his has a bright future. You've all seen that kid's attitude just now. He's definitely someone who knows when to yield and when to stand tall. With such a strong manner head as his father, how could he have the heart to endure such humiliation? How could he have no future? Lin Xian said. Actually, this was not a result of investigation. No one understood the situation of the upper echelons of the ethereal empire better than her. Sister Xian, can you be sure that their attitude today is friendly? Datura asked. It should be. If it is just a trick, Luo Yuandao doesn't need to come personally. The butler and capable subordinates can bring Luo Fei to visit. After all, he is still a prefecture lord. It is impossible for him to use his face as a trick, Lin Xian said. That's good. What I am most worried about now is falling into a trap, Datura said. Although Yuan Ji has been stripped of his position as the Great Elder, he still has some remaining forces. There are some others who will not let it go. After being slapped in the face by you guys, some of them will not be able to take it, Lin Xian reminded Night Sorrow. Lin Xian understood the 7 prefecture lords. She knew that with Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlia's personalities, they would not be able to take it lying down. They would definitely think of ways to kill Night Sorrow. Latest chapter, D at section W. Chapter 1626. When Gong Yufan saw the receptionist at the Divine Devil Castle, he asked for the price of killing Night Sorrow. Now that Yuan Ji was about to die, Gong Yufan had to think of a way to kill Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's existence made the moon-gazing mansion lose face. The receptionist at the Divine Devil Castle reported Gong Yufan's request to Elder Leng Yu. Elder Leng Yu thought for a moment and asked for a huge price. Then, he asked for the receptionist to arrange it. After hearing the price, Gong Yufan was stunned. This was the first time he had heard of such a high price for a mission below the imperial level. However, to vent his anger, he took out a Saint Spirit stone and gave the mission. As long as he could kill Night Sorrow, he didn't care about the price. After Gong Yufan left, Elder Leng Yu drank a cup of tea and took the teleportation array to the Divine Devil Castle in the Eastern Hao District. Leng Lai arrived at the Divine Devil Castle in the Eastern Hao District. Elder Chiu received him. Elder Leng, why did you come to the Eastern Hao District? Elder Chiu was surprised to see Leng Lai. I'm here to give you a mission to help the younger generation, said Leng Lai after sitting down. Elder Leng, why can't I understand what you're saying? Elder Chiu was surprised. Night Sorrow killed the son of the Eastern Hao Mountain's great elder, Xian. Xian was evil and deserved to be killed. However, Night Sorrow and the Eastern Hao Mountain have karma. This karma is not good. I want to help him deal with it. Elder Leng Yu took out the mission list and handed it to Elder Chiu. A mission to assassinate him. Elder Leng, are you looking for me because you plan to let the members of Donghao Mountain in the God-Fiend Castle take on this mission? Elder Chiu looked at the mission list and understood Elder Leng Yu's intentions. Yes, that's what I meant. Both sides will kill each other and end the karma without knowing, said Elder Leng Yu. Isn't this asking people to die? Elder Chiu frowned. He knew that it was almost impossible for cultivators below the imperial level to kill Night Sorrow. Isn't survival of the fittest the law of this world? The mission did not have to be accepted. The person who accepted the mission had a choice. Let's give them a chance to clash again. As for who can seize the opportunity, that's a problem for both of them. This is a test for both of us and Night Sorrow, Leng Lai said. Good. Then we'll do as you say, Elder Leng. Night Sorrow has been given a mission. From the looks of it, he's quite a troublemaker. However, to be able to be hated by others and force them to the point where they need a God-Fiend castle to resolve the matter, it's quite a feat. Elder Chiu put away the mission list. Leng Lai cupped his hands at Elder Chiu and left the Eastern Hao District. When Elder Leng Yu returned, Elder Nalan also returned from his work. The two of them discussed the mission. That's a good idea. Although it's against the rules of giving a mission to one's own people, it's a trial for Night Sorrow, Elder Nalan said. What I'm doing is not against the rules. If he can do it, I plan to recommend him to the higher-ups, Ling Lai said as he looked at Elder Nalan. The God-fiend castle didn't give missions to its own people, so Ling Lai had accepted the mission to assassinate Yi Saro. It didn't seem reasonable, but the God-fiend castle had a promotion test. The status, position, and authority of the members of the God-fiend castle were completely different. I was a little confused at first. Why did you decide to accept the mission? Now I understand. Just treat it as a test. Elder Nalan's confusion was resolved. Knight Saro placed the Hautian godly pagoda behind the main building of the Night Moon Villa. His true body entered cultivation while his doppelganger cultivated combat skills. After the battle with Li Li, Knight Saro felt that he could not underestimate the cultivators in the world. There were many talented cultivators. If he wanted to gain a foothold, his own strength was the key. Not only was the doppelganger in the Night Moon Villa cultivating combat skills, but Knight Saro's doppelganger in the Heaven Sealing Palace was also cultivating. Knight Saro felt that as the 9 regions world developed, his doppelganger in the Heaven Sealing Palace was also getting stronger. It could even be said that his deduction ability had improved. Yuan Ji had fallen from power, and the Heavenly Sun Prefecture did not send anyone to torment Knight Saro. Young Tianlai had seen Knight Saro's strength at the blood battle stage. Not to mention a Heaven Monarch, even a pseudo-thearch would not have a chance of winning. Young Tianlai was very clear about Knight Saro's strength. As Li Li was someone young Tianlai had found, he had recommended Li Li to Yuan Ji. At that time, Yuan Ji had given the puppet to Li Li in front of him. With the Phantom Race's innate talent and the puppet, young Tianyu thought that Knight Saro would definitely die. However, the result was completely different from what he had imagined. Li Li had always wanted to use the puppet as a trump card to counterattack Knight Saro. In the end, his true body was suddenly destroyed, and the puppet became a decoration, becoming Knight Saro's spoils of war. Although Li Li did not display the puppet's power, young Tianyu was very clear about his own battle strength. Without the appearance of a particularly powerful Heaven Monarch, young Tianyu would not send anyone to challenge Knight Saro again. After a few days of peace, Zhang Ning and Wu Fing both returned. The Yuan clan's power had been wiped out, and that region was currently under the direct control of the Misty dynasty. Knight Saro invited Zhang Ning and Wu Fing to drink. When the banquet was about to end, Knight Saro took out the blood battle token. Boss Zhang, there was nothing much to do these days. Since you are back, you can take the token back. Just take it. You are a guest of the blood battle platform. It is not inappropriate for you to take the token back. Zhang Ning did not want to take it back. But I have asked around. The blood battle token is the highest token in the blood battle platform. It is exclusive to you, the champion. Knight Saro said. He did not understand before, but now he knew what the blood battle token represented. Just take it. Also, Yuan Ji has disappeared. I asked someone to divine that he is no longer in the celestial realm. He has left the celestial realm to hide. The origin of the Yuan clan is the Sky General region. However, the connection with the Sky General region has been cut off. For now, we cannot do anything to him. However, don't worry. As long as he dares to come out, I will definitely snatch the glass bone back for you. Zhang Ning said. Yuan Ji was shameless and did not keep his word. He took the bet and ran away. Zhang Ning felt that he owed Knight Saro. Original chapter, Section RX, Top N, it's not a big deal. I went up against him, so we're rivals and enemies. Although I didn't get the glazed bone to attack his strength, his prestige, status, and power have all been destroyed. We've achieved our goal. Boss Zhang, don't mention this again in the future, Knight Saro said to Zhang Ning. Zhang Ning nodded. He knew that Knight Saro did not care, although the glass bone was very precious. Brother, you have to be careful. Although Yuan Ji has gone into hiding, he still desires the Sky Law Flower. He might jump out at any time to harm you. Wu Fing said. Don't worry, big brother. I will be careful. I am not strong enough. I have to cultivate hard. Night Sorrow said. Zhang Ning and Wu Fing left. Night Sorrow found a sky monarch of the Guanyue mansion and issued a challenge. Then, he continued to cultivate. He would not give up on the Guanyue mansion. Lin Xian'er knew about this, but she did not want to care. Gong Yufan of the Guanyue mansion had no bottom line. She also felt disgusted. Chapter 1627. Everyone had their own likes and dislikes, and they had their own standards of conduct. Lin Xian'er understood this, but Gong Yufan's actions did not match her standards of conduct. It did not match her management philosophy, so Lin Xian'er did not want to interfere. In addition, it involved Night Sorrow. She admired Night Sorrow's character and way of doing things. On this day, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear, suddenly stopped. The aura on his body changed. It was a mysterious aura. His body stood there, but it gave people the feeling that he was beyond this world. Nihility Heaven and Earth. Night Sorrow's battle intent and will of the nihility Heaven and Earth had successfully merged. This was a domain unique to the Emperor realm. Night Sorrow had just formed his nihility Heaven and Earth domain. He hadn't reached the critical point yet. If he continued to cultivate and comprehend it, when his nihility Heaven and Earth domain matured and reached 10% of the momentum of Heaven and Earth, he would be an emperor. Datura, who had been cultivating her blade, was extremely happy. She knew that Night Sorrow had entered the half-emperor realm. Although she had entered the half-emperor realm earlier than Night Sorrow, Datura was very clear that her battle strength could not be compared to Night Sorrow's because Night Sorrow's attributes were supreme. Night Sorrow's attributes were extreme and tyrannical. He was an overlord among those of the same level, so it was difficult for him to achieve anything. This was also why Night Sorrow had entered the Emperor realm slower than Datura. Of course, this was also because Datura had merged with Datura Chinensis. The scene froze. Night Sorrow stood there without moving, but the aura on his body and the energy around his body kept changing. Night Sorrow's body gave people a feeling of unreality. This was the effect of the nihility Heaven and Earth. After half a day, Night Sorrow's arm shook, and he put away the space splitter spear. Then, he went to Datura's side. Night Sorrow, congratulations. Datura took out a jar of wine and poured a cup for himself and Night Sorrow. It is indeed worth drinking. We have reached the celestial realm, and we can be considered to have gained something. If we go one step further, we will have completed our original goal of coming to the celestial realm. Night Sorrow took a sip of wine and said, Yishang's first goal in coming to the heaven realm was to break the shackles that prevented the primal chaos realm from producing an emperor. The primal chaos realm's momentum of heaven and earth was insufficient, so it was very difficult to comprehend the momentum of heaven and earth. It could be said that it was impossible. Night Sorrow had entered the half-step emperor realm, but he was still a step away from his goal. As long as he took one more step, he would have completed his goal and paved a bright path for future generations. Night Sorrow, you entered the Emperor realm. Did you break the shackles of the 9 domains world, or the shackles of the entire chaos realm? Datura asked. I don't know. Everything in the heavenly Tao is fixed. As for the specific situation, it is hard to say. Night Sorrow shook his head. If it is the chaos realm, then everything is easy. If it is only the 9 domains world, then everyone has to work hard. Datura said. Actually, it is nothing. The passage to the celestial realm has been opened. In the future, whoever wants to come to the celestial realm can. Whether or not they can achieve great success depends on themselves. Night Sorrow expressed his opinion. He did not think much about this matter. He could only help others pave the road, but he would not help others walk it. You are right. You have passed the passage between the chaos realm and the celestial realm. The teleportation array has been successfully set up. There is no need to copy others. You have to rely on yourself. Datura nodded. After drinking 2 cups of wine, Knight Sorrow continued to cultivate. His original body stabilized in the Hautian godly pagoda, and his doppelganger cultivated the use of the nihility domain in actual combat. After cultivating for 2 days, Knight Sorrow went to the blood battle stage to challenge the heaven monarchs of the Guanyue prefecture. Last time, he was rejected again. Killing wasn't Yishang's goal in this challenge. Yishang's goal was to make everyone in the Guanyue prefecture anxious and make the Guanyue prefecture waver. There were only so many heaven monarchs. If this continued, the foundation of the Guanyue prefecture would be shaken. After issuing the challenge, Knight Sorrow waited for the other party's reply. Ghost Monkey arrived at the Night Moon Manor. The moment Ghost Monkey sneaked into the Night Moon Manor, Knight Sorrow appeared and brought him to the hall of the Night Moon Manor. Young master, it is like this. Today, when the heaven monarch of the Guanyue prefecture received your challenge, he went to ask Gong Yufan. He did not dare to accept. He wanted to know Gong Yufan's attitude. If he rejected the challenge, he wanted to hear it from Gong Yufan's mouth. At that time, this subordinate and Gong Xianyu were present, Ghost Monkey reported. Oh, what was Gong Yufan's attitude? Knight Sorrow asked. He rejected. After Gong Yufan rejected the challenge, Gong Xianyu began to cause a ruckus. She said that if she could not conquer you, she would kill you. After that, Gong Xianyu slapped her and told her to behave. After being slapped, Gong Xianyu became even more restless. In desperation, Gong Yufan told us that he had hired someone to deal with young master. He said that young master would not live for long. Ghost Monkey bowed and said. Hired someone. Then it must be an assassin. An assassin's most powerful base is the God Devil Castle. It seems like keeping you in the Guanyue prefecture was the right choice, Knight Sorrow said after analyzing the situation. Young master, you must be careful. This subordinate really did not know what kind of hidden cards he had. After I told him this, Gong Yufan chased us away, Ghost Monkey said. You're in good shape. It seems like you've mostly recovered from your previous loss. Here are some heaven spirit pills. Take them and cultivate your soul power. Also, that Gong Yufan is very scheming. You must be careful. If you feel that you're being suspected, withdraw. There's no need to take any risks. Knight Sorrow took out 2 bottles of heaven spirit pills and gave them to Ghost Monkey. Then young master and madam should be careful. I'll take my leave now. Ghost Monkey bowed and left the Night Moon Manor. Knight Sorrow, the pills you arranged are not bad. They're very effective. You can know the opponent's plans in advance. What do you plan to do next? Datura asked. It's fine. Normally, the God Devil Castle wouldn't accept missions related to me. However, we can't rule out the possibility. For example, Gong Yufan went to another God Devil Castle to do a mission. However, that doesn't matter. I'm not afraid of anyone below the Emperor realm. If anyone wants to kill me, they can come and try. I just didn't expect Gong Yufan to hate me so much that he would hire an assassin. Knight Sorrow shook his head. That woman said she wanted to conquer you. If you hadn't rejected her back then, wouldn't everything have been fine? However, a woman who doesn't wear a tight belt isn't reliable, Datura said with a smile. Ah Luo, what are you talking about? Knight Sorrow smiled helplessly. At this moment, in a pavilion of the Night Moon Villa, Lin Xian brewed a pot of tea. Gong Yufan, you've always been good at scheming against others, but in the end, your trusted aide became someone else's spy. This can be considered as capsizing a boat in a ditch. When Ghost Monkey had snuck into the Night Moon Villa, Lin Xian had discovered him before Night Sorrow. She had been thinking about whether she should make a move and kill Ghost Monkey and throw him out when Night Sorrow had appeared. What happened next was also within her probing range. The last time Lin Xian had probed Night Sorrow, she had been discovered by Night Sorrow because her probing had been thorough. She had sent her soul force into Night Sorrow's body. If she hadn't purposely probed Night Sorrow wouldn't have discovered her. If she could be discovered with just a simple probing, then she wasn't worthy of being called the ethereal battle empress. And NB says, here's the second update. Today, after sending my brother to the plane, I've been a little dazed for the past 2 days. During the day, I played with him and at night, everyone slept while I wrote. I was really tired. Chapter 1628. Lin Xianer was surprised that Night Sorrow was able to control the heavenly monarchs around Gong Yufan and turn them into his trusted aides. Below the Emperor realm, the heavenly monarchs were revered. They were extremely arrogant and it was much harder to subdue them than to kill them. If it wasn't for the evil spirit tormenting Ghost Monkey, he wouldn't have submitted to Night Sorrow. As she sipped her tea, Lin Xian pondered over some matters. Originally, she had rarely asked about the matters of the Mishti dynasty. She hadn't even shown her face once in many years, but because of Yuan Ji's request, Yi Shang's situation had attracted her attention. Virtuous Grand Sage, there's still a long way to go. I'll let you take fewer detours. The Nihility realm and the Nihility realm are great. The appearance of such a supreme realm makes everything worth it. Lin Xian took a sip of tea and muttered softly. Night Sorrow received news from Fu Wu that the heavenly monarchs of the moon-gazing mansion had refused to fight. This was all within Night Sorrow's expectations. So be it. The rejection was recorded in the blood battle platform. Night Sorrow also had a record. This was done by Hong Yi. Hong Yi had a record of all the heavenly monarchs that Night Sorrow had challenged and rejected. After this round, it would be arranged for who to challenge. Ah Luo, do you think I should give the assassin a chance? If I don't go out, the assassin won't be able to make a move. Night Sorrow said with a smile. That's true. No one dares to enter the Night Moon Mansion. No one dares to break the rules of the mansion given by the ethereal battle emperor. Datura nodded. I haven't gone shopping with you in a long time, right? Let's go out tomorrow. Night Sorrow looked at Datura and said. Datura sat beside Night Sorrow and leaned on Night Sorrow's shoulder. All right. Cultivating hard is a positive attitude, but it's not everything. Let's go shopping tomorrow. Reaching the peak of cultivation is my dream. This dream can allow the people around me to live a stable life. However, in the process, I've neglected you. Night Sorrow reached out and hugged Datura's shoulder. Night Sorrow, we sisters understand you. We also feel sorry for you. We just don't want to say it out loud and trouble you. Datura said. Yi Shang nodded. He could understand all of this and could also feel it. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow and Datura went to the Celestial Master Pavilion. The business of the Celestial Master Pavilion was very good. The items they produced were all of high quality. The main thing was that the price was fair. Master Knight is here. This is the custom-made list. I plan to get Lu Yun to send it back later. Lin Mu took out a stack of lists and handed them to Night Sorrow. Alright, I'll take care of it and get someone to send it over. Night Sorrow put away the custom-made list. During this period of time, Night Sorrow didn't come to the Celestial Master Pavilion much. However, he refined all the custom-made pills and weapons. He had the Haotian Divine Pagoda that sped up time by 50 times. Refining some custom-made pills and weapons was extremely fast. After refining them, he would hand them over to Hong Yi. Hong Yi was in charge of some matters in the Celestial Master Pavilion, but she would return to Night Moon Villa every day. When Night Sorrow and Datura were drinking tea by the waterside pavilion in the backyard of the Celestial Master Pavilion, Fatty Shin came. After Yuan Ji was stripped of his position as the Great Elder of the Ethereal Dynasty and chased out of the Ethereal Imperial City, Fatty Shin left Night Sorrow's mansion and returned to his own restaurant. When he found that Night Sorrow and Datura had arrived at the Celestial Master Pavilion, he brought wine and dishes over. Night Sorrow, thank you for giving me a place to stay and helping me survive the crisis. If Master Knight needs any help in the future, Fatty Shin will definitely not refuse. Fatty Shin said after pouring wine for Night Sorrow and Datura. You are too courteous. I do have something to ask you. It's like this. I have just arrived at the Ethereal Imperial Dynasty and I plan to develop here. I have some Saint Spirit stones with me. What kind of business do you think I should do? Night Sorrow asked. Your situation is different from others. You don't lack Saint Spirit stones, but you lack resources and inheritances. Under such circumstances, doing traditional business will only earn you Saint Spirit stones. It won't be of much help to you. You are more suited to open a pawn shop. That way, people who lack Saint Spirit stones will take out treasures as collateral and borrow Saint Spirit stones. It will be good if you can pay it back, but if you can't, hee. You know what I mean. Fatty Shin said with a smile. Damn Fatty, you are too bad. You are an unscrupulous merchant. Datura looked at Fatty Shin with disdain. Madam Yi, I am Fatty Shin, not a damn fatty. Besides, how am I an unscrupulous merchant? We are both taking what we need and helping others in their emergency. Fatty Shin said. And then how about we open a large treasure hunting pavilion? The business should be wider and more complicated. For example, we can barter for high-end goods. We can also do the pawn shop business. We need to find a bigger shop and make a name for ourselves. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Night Sorrow, can I be the shopkeeper for you? I like Saint Spirit stones. I like the feeling of making a lot of money doing business. Fatty Shin said. Okay, then let's find a shop first and start the business. Fatty, I am an outsider. What I lack is a foundation and high-end resources. When the time comes, you can follow this direction. Night Sorrow told Fatty Shin his requirements. I understand, and I also understand. You can get the extra goods that you don't need. This way, the shop will have treasures to attract more customers. You can also barter for high-end goods. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Fatty Shin understood Night Sorrow's thoughts. Night Sorrow and Datura followed Fatty Shin to the most prosperous Jade Sky Street in Ethereal Imperial City. This was the main street in front of the City Lord's mansion. Every inch of land here is worth its weight in gold. If I didn't know that your family was rich, I wouldn't have dared to bring you here. Let's see if there is a suitable place first. Fatty Shin, who was sitting in front of the beast carriage, turned around and said. I am not familiar with this place. You can make the arrangements. Night Sorrow said. At most 3% of the new chapter, Night Sorrow, I haven't been to the City Lord's mansion. Let's go take a look. Datura was more interested. Night Sorrow nodded. He also wanted to take a look. At this moment, in the City Lord's mansion, Lin Xian, who was wearing a veil, was sitting on the main seat. Below her were the 6 elders of the City Lord's mansion and on her right were the 7 mansion lords. There were originally 7 elders, but at this moment, the first chair on the left was empty. That was originally the seat of the Great Elder, Yuan Ji. Yuan Ji was chased out of Ethereal City by Tsang Ning, so the Great Elder's seat was empty. Today, I will say 2 things. First, you are all the face of Ethereal Imperial City. Do more things that will bring glory to the ethereal imperial city. Do less things that are not worth it. I can't afford to lose face. Lin Xian said. Hearing Lin Xian's words, the 13 people in the main hall stood up and accepted the order. They knew that Yuan Ji's matter had angered Lin Xian. Second, issue the evil punishing mission. This time, not only will the City Lord's mansion's men take action, but also some rogue cultivators. Those who perform well can be recruited into the City Lord's mansion. Lin Xian said. My lady, isn't there still some time before the evil punishing sect opens? Isn't it a little too early to issue it now? Zhang Ning asked. Recently, there has been some turmoil in ethereal imperial city. I want to accumulate some luck and merit, so it will open soon. Lin Xian said. Chapter 1629. Yes, Your Majesty. Zhang Ning and the others bowed. All right, then go and make the arrangements. Make sure everything is arranged properly. Lin Xian waved her hand. %GC/U Original Edition, Chapter N. When Zhang Ning came out of the mansion, he found Knight Sorrow admiring the majestic architecture of the mansion. Smiling, Zhang Ning went to Knight Sorrow's beast carriage. Boss Knight, why are you in such a good mood today? Are you out for a walk? Boss Zhang, you must be joking. I came out to look for a suitable shop to do business. Ah Luo said he hadn't been to the City Lord's mansion before. I haven't been there either, so I came to take a look, Yi Shan greeted. There are a few shops on Jade Sky Street. They used to belong to the Yuan family, but after they were expelled, the mansion took them back. Let's go and take a look. If there is a suitable one, we will take it. Zhang Ning said. Then, the group strolled around Jade Sky Street, looking at a few shops. However, Knight Sorrow did not feel anything. After an hour, Knight Sorrow saw a place he was satisfied with. It was a luxurious 3-story building. What do you guys think? Knight Sorrow asked. Good taste. This place is not far from the blood battle arena. It is a place with more cultivators. It is very suitable for doing business. Zhang Ning said. I also think it is good. Ah Luo, Fatty Shin, what do you think? Knight Sorrow looked at Datura and Fatty Shin and asked. Very impressive. The location is also good. Datura nodded. This place is good, but the price will not be low. Fatty Shin said. The price is not a problem. Let's go take a look. Zhang Ning got off the beast carriage. The shop was not open for business, but it was guarded by the mansion's guards. Seeing Zhang Ning's arrival, the 2 city lords' mansion's guards bowed in greeting their lord. Who is in charge of the shop here? Zhang Ning asked. Sir, Elder Iron is in charge here. We are just here to make sure it is not damaged. One of the guards bowed and said. The guards of the mansion naturally knew Zhang Ning and his identity. Do you know the prices here? Zhang Ning asked. I do. Elder Tai's price for this 3-story shop is 5 million Saint Spirit stones, said the guard. Zhang Ning nodded. All right. Go ahead. 5 million is still acceptable, Knight Sorrow said. All right, let's go to the City Lord's mansion to look for Elder Tai Lao. He's in charge of these matters. By the way, can you let others invest in your new store? Zhang Ning asked after getting on the beast carriage. Sure. Is Old Man Song interested? Knight Sorrow asked. Forget about me, but let me introduce you to someone. He's a Formation Dao Emperor's teacher and a Crafting Dao Emperor's teacher. What do you think? Zhang Ning said with a smile. Such a person can partner with me. Even if you partner up with me, I can't afford it. Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment before shaking his head. I know your bottom line. I'll take care of it. Also, I have something to tell you. Tsang-Ning looked at Night Sorrow with a serious expression. Please speak, Boss Tsang. Night Sorrow could tell that Tsang-Ning had something important to say. Today, Lord Battle Emperor gathered 7 mansion lords and 7 elders. There used to be 7 elders, but now there are only 6, Night Sorrow said. There are so many Emperor realm cultivators in the ethereal dynasty. Night Sorrow sighed. No. The elders are in charge of management. They aren't that strong. Apart from that shameless UNG, there are 2 Emperor realm elders. The rest of the elders might not be as strong as you, but they're all loyal to Lord Battle Emperor. They're more capable followers in other aspects. This time, Lord Battle Emperor told us to open the Evil Punisher Gate early, Tsang-Ning said. What's the Evil Punisher Gate? Night Sorrow asked, puzzled. To be precise, the Evil Punisher Gate is an alternate dimension. It's also a land of treasures. No matter what, it's a land of treasures. It's a place where one can obtain the blessing of fortune. That's why Lord War Emperor established the ethereal dynasty here. It's so that the cultivators of the ethereal dynasty can obtain the blessing of fortune. The ethereal dynasty also has the blessing of fortune. Please continue, Boss Tsang. Night Sorrow was more interested. If one could obtain providence, they would be blessed by the heavenly Tao. To ordinary cultivators, they would obtain providence, but to cultivators with the body of merit, they would obtain merit. There are some things that I don't understand. This alternate dimension was created by the previous experts on the celestial demon ranking. But they didn't succeed. Instead, the evil chi of heaven and earth gathered here. That's why it became a land of demons, connected to the demon world, Tsang-Ning explained to Night Sorrow. Then, Tsang-Ning told Night Sorrow some things. The bottleneck of the Emperor realm was very difficult. If one didn't have the opportunity or the strength, they wouldn't be able to break through. That's why many cultivators used unconventional methods to reincarnate and cultivate again. For example, if an Emperor realm expert couldn't break through to the Emperor realm but was unwilling to give up, he could use other methods. He could split his soul power into 2 and make a seal with the original body. He would seal his soul and put a part of his soul power into the Yellow Spring River. Then, he would be purified and reincarnate, obtaining some potential and opportunities that he didn't have in this life. If he succeeded, the clone and the original body could be stacked. He might be able to prove his Tao through strength. But there was also a possibility that this part of his soul would be completely destroyed because this was an unknown path. Does the heavenly Tao allow this? I heard that there was a cultivator in our realm who did this in the past, but he was killed by the lightning tribulation, Night Sorrow said. There is a lightning tribulation. But peak Emperor realm cultivators always have some tricks up their sleeves. The Evil Punisher Gate is related to this. There is the Yellow Spring River in the Evil Punisher Gate. It's a rather special section that purifies the reincarnated soul. After purifying the reincarnated soul, there would be all kinds of negative aura and negative energy. These negative energies are the most harmful to the origin of heaven and earth. That's why our ethereal empire opens it up once every 10 million years. Normally, only the city lord residence's men can enter. But this time, Lord Battle Emperor announced that it's open to the public, Tsang-Ning said. Open to the public. I have to think about this matter, Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said. The celestial realm is a very mystical place. Some unparalleled experts would leave behind some extraordinary methods. Because a battle could happen at any time, no one could guarantee that they wouldn't fall. Therefore, they would arrange some escape routes. Some worlds are their escape routes. Their methods are all different. No one knows the specific methods. The Evil Punisher Gate was once an evil expert's escape route. According to legends, he obtained the origin of the world after the Great Calamity. He then placed the origin of the world and left a soul mark in it. This way, As long as the new world didn't perish, he wouldn't perish, Night Sorrow said. Isn't that the realm lord? Night Sorrow asked in astonishment. Chapter 1630. So that's how it is. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that because he was the realm lord, he thought of things in a simple way. It's too difficult to get the recognition of the world's origin. Many people want to do it, but they can't force it. The evil Punisher Gate is filled with evil energy and evil spirits. Although it can't threaten the celestial realm, it can still harm the celestial realm. So, going there to fight for the celestial realm has its benefits. Do you have any thoughts? If you do, you can follow me. Tsang Ning said. Okay, then call me when the time comes. There's no need to join the City Lord's mansion. I don't want to be restricted. Night Sorrow said his thoughts. He didn't want to be restricted. You're a guest elder of the Blood Battle platform. There's no need to join the City Lord's mansion. You're now a member of the City Lord's mansion. I won't let you suffer from unnecessary troubles. Tsang Ning said. Okay, that's fine. Night Sorrow nodded. Damn fatty, there are some things that you already know. Keep your mouth shut, or else you know the consequences. Tsang Ning glanced at Fatty Shin, who was in front of the beast carriage. Don't worry, sir. Fatty Shin turned around and nodded. If others called him a damn fatty, he could get angry. But if Tsang Ning said it, he could only listen. Tsang Ning only reminded Fatty Shin. He didn't mention Ji Dao, who was driving the beast carriage. She knew all the people around Night Sorrow and knew there wouldn't be any problems. When they reached the City Lord's mansion, Ji Dao and Fatty Shin waited outside. Tsang Ning brought Night Sorrow and Datura into the mansion. Then, they went to a courtyard. Tsang Ning, why do you have time to come here? Tsang Ning just arrived when an old man appeared. The old man had a benevolent look and a very amiable attitude. Elder Iron, let me introduce you. These two are Night Sorrow and his wife. Night Sorrow is a guest elder of the Blood Battle Arena, and his wife is a law enforcer of the Blood Battle Arena. Night Sorrow, Aluo, this is Elder Iron. He is in charge of some businesses in Ethereal Imperial City, Tsang Ning introduced. Night Sorrow, this name is like thunder to the ears, Elder Iron said with a smile. I'm sorry for bringing trouble to the City Lord's mansion. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Tai Luo. How could that be? You should be here for the business, right? Where are you looking? Tai Luo asked. To be able to manage the City Lord's manor's businesses, Tai Lao was naturally a smart person. He guessed the reason why Night Sorrow and the others had come. He didn't wait for Night Sorrow and the others to speak, or else the favor would be small. It's like this. This junior saw a 3-story shop and wanted to buy it to do some business, Night Sorrow said. There are only 2 shops on the 3rd floor. The one with a better location is Jade Sky Street, which is closer to the Blood Battle Arena. Is that the one you're looking at? Tai Lao took out a map and pointed at a spot on the map. Forever free of charge *CA. Night Sorrow nodded. Tai Luo was pointing at the location he had his eyes on. Elder Iron, what do you think of this place? Tsang Ning asked. It's a very good location. It should be the best among the recently reclaimed businesses, Elder Iron said. What's the price? After confirming the location, Tsang Ning went straight to the point. Ha! Then I can only tell you the real price. 5 million. Manor Lord Yang Tianlai came to ask about it. He also had his eyes on this place, but he didn't have enough Holy Spirit stones on him. He said he would go back and get it, Tai Luo said. Night Sorrow, since Elder Iron and Yang Tianlai offered 5 million, we can't make things difficult for Elder Iron. We'll buy it for 5 million, Tsang Ning said to Night Sorrow. Sure, then I'll buy it for 5 million. Night Sorrow nodded and took out a storage ring. That's fine. Since Manorhead Yang didn't take out any Holy Spirit stones, the first one to take out the Holy Spirit stones will get it. Tai Lao took the storage ring and inspected it, then handed a deed to Yi Chang. Thank you for your generosity, Elder Iron. Night Sorrow cupped his fists at Tai Luo and accepted the deed. After chatting with Elder Iron for a while, Night Sorrow and Song Ning left the city lord's manor. Look carefully. Isn't Yang Tianlai stupid for not handing over the Holy Spirit stones? Song Ning said with a smile on his face. When he finds out, Yang Tianlai will probably be very angry. Night Sorrow also smiled. He was very happy to have cut off Yang Tianlia's path. The group sat in the beast carriage and returned to Night Moon Villa. When Night Sorrow and Datura were preparing tea to receive Song Ning, Lin Xian came over. Sister Xian, sit. Song Ning stood up and invited Lin Xian to sit. What's going on? You all look so happy. After Lin Xian sat down, she looked at them with her starry eyes. Sister Xian, Night Sorrow bought a big shop and plans to do business. I think Sister Xian can invest in it. Sister Xian is an Emperor-grade blacksmith and Emperor-grade array master. The shop needs you too. Song Ning said. He wanted to create an opportunity for Lin Xian to interact with Night Sorrow. Sure, how many Holy Spirit stones do you need? See if I have enough. If I don't have enough, I'll go look for more. Lin Xian said. There's no need for that. Sister Xian is an emperor's teacher. If I can't solve something, Sister Xian can solve it. Night Sorrow said. But is that really okay? Then I'll take half. Lin Xian said. Sister Xian, there's really no need for that. However, there are some things I need to say first. Night Sorrow continued to talk about the shop he was about to open and his requirements. Sure, I don't have anything to do. I'm just bored and won't interfere with your business. I'll still pay 2 million. You can arrange it as you see fit. Lin Xian said. In fact, she really didn't care about these things. Since Song Ning said it, she felt it wasn't a bad idea. Alright, it's settled then. Night Sorrow, Ah Luo, Sister Xian I'll go back first. There are still some things I need to deal with. Night Sorrow, you should also prepare for Evil Punishing Gate, Song Ning said to Night Sorrow before leaving. Night Sorrow, if you want to go to Evil Punishing Gate, how much do you know about it? Lin Xian looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I don't know much about it. Song Ning said it was more suitable for me, so I plan to take a look, Night Sorrow said. I know a little bit about Evil Punishing Gate. It was placed there by Guizhou as a place to retreat to. Later, it formed the current Evil Punishing Land. The Guizhou's secret art is evil, and the Evil Punishing Land was influenced by him to become what it is today. The Guizhou is most proficient in soul force attacks, so the creatures in the Evil Punishing Land all have the same characteristic. Evil creatures are all proficient in soul force attacks, Lin Xian said after taking a sip of tea. She understood the Evil Punishing Land the most and had the most right to speak about it. So that's how it is. Night Sorrow was quite surprised because he hadn't thought of this before. The celestial realm is quite complex and has produced many talented cultivators. Guizhou was one of them, but because he fought with the Demon King, he was defeated by the Demon King and his main body and clone were killed. Now, only Evil Punishing Land still has his aura. If there is an opportunity, he may have a chance to return, Lin Xian said. And NB says the first update has arrived. Chapter 1631. Even such an expert can be killed. Night Sorrow was a little stunned. He felt that someone who could raise the space world must be ridiculously strong and shouldn't have died. Among the strong, there will always be someone stronger. Even the current divine demon list is not completely accurate. There are some experts who are not known to the public, but their abilities are heaven-defying. The great demon king and the heavenly evil king are all people with heaven-defying abilities. These cultivators are not known to ordinary cultivators, Lin Xian said. The great demon king and the heavenly evil king are all cultivators with evil intentions. Datura asked. No, a title is a title. It has nothing to do with good or evil. The great demon king was born in the demon world. He doesn't care about good or evil, he only cares about his own heart and likes and dislikes. That's why he has this title. He doesn't have any evil deeds. The heavenly evil king is his brother, and both of them have the same temperament, Lin Xian said. I have to drink tea and chat with Sister Xian more in the future. This is too much of an eye-opener, Datura said. I like to read some letters, so I know a little more. In the celestial realm, you can't just look at appearances. For example, the fifth on the celestial demon list is called Emperor Xiao Yao. This title is free and easy, but he is a person who commits all kinds of evil. Lin Xian suggested a name. Yi Shan nodded. Lin Xian's words made a lot of sense and were also a warning. Going to the evil Punisher land will only be good for you and not bad, but the premise is that you have to be alive. Lin Xian nodded to Night Sorrow. I understand, thank you Sister Xian. Night Sorrow nodded. Then Lin Xian told Night Sorrow that in the future, if there was a custom order for refining weapons, he could get Hong Yi to send it to her. Then she left and returned to the attic where she lived. Fatty, I'll leave the matters of the store to you. I know you're good at doing business. As for the shares of the store, you take 20% and Big Sister Xian takes 30%, Night Sorrow said. I really want to shamelessly agree, but I can't. A store manager can only get 10% of the shares. This is the rule, so you can just give me 10%. Fatty Shin shook his head. That's fine too. I won't force you. Go and make the arrangements. Lawning, you'll follow Fatty for the next few days. You'll deal with anything that requires Holy Spirit stones. Since it's a partnership, you'll need to make sure the accounts are clear, Night Sorrow said to Lawning. Lawning nodded, asking Night Sorrow to rest assured. Although Hong Yi and Lawning weren't Night Sorrow's subordinates, they were willing to help Night Sorrow do some things. When Hong Yi and Lawning first met Night Sorrow, one was a 1-star king and the other a 2-star king. These years, their original bodies had been cultivating in the time acceleration magic treasure. Their cultivation had also increased in a straight line. One was a 3-star king and the other was a 4-star king. The main reason was that Night Sorrow had provided them with abundant resources and a high level of cultivation. Night Sorrow gave Lawning a storage ring. I'll give you the last bit of Holy Spirit stones, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow really didn't have any Holy Spirit stones on him after leaving 20 million Holy Spirit stones for his clone in the heaven-sealing Great Hall and buying the store. Everyone went to work. Only Night Sorrow and Datura were left. The two of them sat facing each other. After Night Sorrow greeted Mandela, he went out on the streets. He wanted to find more information about the evil Punisher Gate, and he planned to solve more of it. Also, he knew that someone wanted to assassinate him, so he wanted to see what was going on. After casually walking around the streets, when he was about to reach the Sage Pavilion, Night Sorrow found the assassin. It was below the Emperor realm. The body was hidden in the dark. The energy surrounding the body was one with the night. It was an immature Emperor realm domain. Night Sorrow felt that it should be someone from the God-Devil Castle. If young Tianlai wanted to find an assassin, he wouldn't find one below the Emperor realm. If it was below the Emperor realm, then it would be fine to fight in the blood battle stage. When Night Sorrow was about to enter the Sage Pavilion, the assassin moved. He didn't care about the rules of the Floating Mist Imperial City and directly attacked. And NB latest P chapter square root previous the rules of the Floating Mist Imperial City were deadly. Whoever didn't follow the rules would be killed immediately. However, the premise was that if one was caught and retreated after a successful attack, then they wouldn't be punished. This was also the reason why Gong Xianyu and Yang Yu dared to attack Night Sorrow last time. A black sword light shot towards Yishang. Yishang dodged with a flash and grabbed the space splitter spear in his hand. You can't kill me, but it's not too late to retreat. Go to hell. The assassin's body flashed and once again pounced towards Night Sorrow. His body seemed to have merged with the night, like a blurry shadow. When he pounced, he also controlled the momentum of heaven and earth to press down on Night Sorrow. Half-Step Emperor. This assassin was at the Half-Step Emperor realm. Night Sorrow's battle intent protected his body, blocking the pressure of heaven and earth. He brandished the space splitter spear and swung it towards the assassin's sword. Whang! With a muffled sound and a tremor, Night Sorrow and the assassin separated. Night Sorrow only took one step back, while the assassin retreated further. In terms of strength, no one could challenge Night Sorrow at the same level. This assassin naturally couldn't. After retreating a bit, the assassin's sword trembled and countless sword chi flew towards Night Sorrow. Since he couldn't fight Night Sorrow head-on, he had to use a technique. Soul extinguishing slash. The other party didn't retreat and insisted on killing. Night Sorrow didn't plan on holding back either. Always leave a way out. Night Sorrow held back because the other party didn't cherish it. The crescent blade of the soul extinguishing slash wasn't affected by the sword chi and directly slashed towards the assassin's spirit sea. After using the soul extinguishing slash, Night Sorrow brandished his space splitter spear and used the true dragon destruction spell. The black-clothed assassin used a soul defense to block the attack of the soul extinguishing slash's crescent moon blade. However, this affected his speed, so he was hit head-on by Night Sorrow's converging dragon art. Because they were both from the God-Devil Castle, Night Sorrow hadn't attacked at the beginning to give the other party a chance to escape. However, since the other party didn't appreciate his kindness, Night Sorrow didn't hold back. After using the true dragon destructive spell, Night Sorrow quickly stabbed out with his space-splitting spear. With the will of time and space, Night Sorrow's space splitter spear was incomparably fast. It pierced through the void and directly poured into the assassin's head. Then, with a tremor, the assassin's spirit sea shattered. After killing the assassin, Night Sorrow withdrew his battle power and stood with his spear. At that moment, the Zhonglon Manor's patrol team appeared. They unsheathed their swords and surrounded the battlefield. Don't move. Surrender, or we'll kill you without mercy, the leader of the patrol team roared. I was defending myself. The other party suddenly attacked me and wanted to kill me, Night Sorrow explained as he put away his space splitter spear. Come with us to the Zhonglon Manor. There are some things that you can't just say what you want. The patrol team leader ordered his men to take down Night Sorrow. Wait a minute. Don't be rough. I'll go with you. Night Sorrow waved his hand and stopped the patrol team. If they wanted to go to the Zhonglon Manor to deal with it, then go. He felt that Jiang Tianheng wouldn't make things difficult for him. As long as he wasn't a fool, he would know what had happened recently. There was no benefit in making things difficult for him. And NB says here's the second update. Thank you for the essential oil. In 3 days, there will be more updates. I've been too sleepy these past few days. Chapter 1632 equals KJ_N. Squinting eyes face equals unsealed. How could such an expert be killed? Night Sorrow was a little stunned. He felt that the person who could raise the spatial world must be ridiculously strong and should not have died. There will always be someone stronger than you. Even the current celestial demon ranking is not completely accurate. There are some experts who are not known to the public, but their abilities are heaven-defying. The Great Demon King and the Heavenly Evil King are all people with heaven-defying abilities. These cultivators are not known to ordinary cultivators, Lin Xian said. They are called the Great Demon King and the Heavenly Evil King. Are they all cultivators with evil intentions? Datura asked. No, a title is just a title. It has nothing to do with good or evil. The Great Demon King was born in the devil world. His style does not care about good or evil. He only cares about his own heart and likes and dislikes. That is why he has this title. He has not done any evil deeds. The Heavenly Evil King is his brother. Both of them have the same temperament, Lin Xian said. I have to drink tea and chat with Sister Xian, more in the future. This is too eye-opening, Datura said. I like to read some letters, so I know a little more. In the celestial realm, you can't just look at appearances. For example, the fifth on the celestial demon list is called the Freedom Emperor. This title is very free and easy, but he is a person who commits all kinds of evil. Lin Xian suggested a name. Night Sorrow nodded. Lin Xian's words made sense and were also very warning. Going to the evil Punisher land will only be good for you. There are no disadvantages, but the premise is that you have to survive. Lin Xian nodded at Night Sorrow. I understand. Thank you, Sister Xian. Night Sorrow nodded. Lin Xian then told Night Sorrow that if there were custom orders for weapons in the future, he could get Hong Yi to send them to her. She then left and returned to the loft where she lived. Fatty, I'll leave the matters of the shop to you. I know you're good at business. As for the profits of the shop, you take 20% and Sister Xian takes 30%, Night Sorrow said. I really want to shamelessly agree to it, but I can't. The highest a shop manager can get is 10%. This is the rule, so you can just give me 10%. Fatty Shin shook his head. Alright, I won't force you. You go and make the arrangements. Lawning, you'll follow Fatty for the next few days. You'll deal with anything that requires Holy Spirit stones. Since it's a partnership, you'll need to make sure the accounts are clear, Night Sorrow said to Lawning. Lawning nodded and asked Night Sorrow to rest assured. Although Hong Yi and Lawning weren't Night Sorrow's subordinates, they were willing to help Night Sorrow do things. When Hong Yi and Lawning first met Night Sorrow, one was a 1-star king and the other a 2-star king. These years, their original bodies had been cultivating in the time acceleration magic treasure. Their cultivation had also increased exponentially. One was a 3-star king and the other was a 4-star king. The main reason was that Night Sorrow had provided them with abundant resources and a high level of cultivation. Night Sorrow gave Lawning a storage ring. I'll give you the last bit of Holy Spirit stones, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow really didn't have any Holy Spirit stones on him after leaving 20 million Holy Spirit stones for his clone in the Heaven Sealing Palace and buying the shop. Cool craftsman. Yongir Joe, no need, I'll take a look. Everyone went to work. Only Night Sorrow and Datura were left. The two of them sat facing each other. After Night Sorrow greeted Mandela, he went out into the streets. He wanted to find more information about the evil Punisher Gate. He planned to solve more of it. Also, he knew that someone wanted to assassinate him, so he wanted to see what was going on. They casually walked around the streets. When they were about to reach the Celestial Master Pavilion, Night Sorrow found the assassin. He was below the Great Emperor realm. He was hiding in the dark. The energy surrounding him merged with the night. It was an immature Great Emperor realm territory. Night Sorrow felt that it should be someone from the God Devil Castle. If young Tianlai wanted to find an assassin, he wouldn't find one below the Emperor realm. If it was someone below the Emperor realm, they could just fight at the blood battle stage. When Knight Sorrow was about to enter the Sage Pavilion, the assassin made his move. He didn't care about the rules of the ethereal Imperial City and directly attacked. The rules of the ethereal Imperial City were deadly. Whoever didn't follow the rules would be killed immediately if they were caught. However, the premise was that they were caught. If they retreated after a successful attack, they wouldn't be punished. This was also the reason why Gong Xianyue and Yang Yu dared to attack Yishang last time. A black sword light shot towards Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow dodged and grabbed the space splitter spear in his hand. Kill me. You can't do it. It's not too late to retreat. Go to hell. The assassin's body flickered and rushed towards Knight Sorrow again. His body seemed to have merged with the night, like a blurry shadow. When he attacked, he also controlled the momentum of heaven and earth to suppress Knight Sorrow. Half-Step Emperor, this assassin was at the Half-Step Emperor realm. Knight Sorrow's battle intent protected his body and blocked the suppression of heaven and earth. He brandished the space splitter spear and faced the assassin's sword. Buzz! With a muffled sound and vibration, Knight Sorrow and the assassin separated. Knight Sorrow only took one step back, while the assassin retreated further. In terms of strength, no one could challenge Knight Sorrow at the same level. Naturally, this assassin couldn't do it either. After retreating a little, the assassin's sword shook and countless sword chi flew towards Knight Sorrow. He couldn't fight Knight Sorrow head-on, so he had to use his skills. Soul Extinguishing Slash. The assassin didn't retreat and insisted on killing. Knight Sorrow didn't plan to hold back either. He always left some leeway. Knight Sorrow left some leeway because the assassin didn't cherish it. The crescent moon blade of the Soul Extinguishing Slash wasn't affected by the sword chi and directly cut towards the assassin's spirit sea. After the Soul Extinguishing Slash was released, Knight Sorrow brandished his space splitter spear and used the True Dragon Destruction spell. Being attacked by the crescent moon blade of the Soul Extinguishing Slash, the black-clothed assassin used a soul defense. However, this affected his speed, so he was hit by Knight Sorrow's True Dragon Convergence spell. Knight Sorrow didn't kill him at first because he guessed that they were both from the God-Fiend Castle. He wanted to give the assassin a chance to retreat. However, the assassin didn't appreciate it, so Knight Sorrow didn't hold back. After using the True Dragon Destruction spell, Knight Sorrow quickly stabbed out with his space splitter spear. With the support of the will of time and space, Knight Sorrow's space splitter spear was extremely fast. It pierced through the void and directly entered the assassin's head. Then, with a vibration, the assassin's spirit sea shattered. After killing the assassin, Knight Sorrow withdrew his battle strength and stood with his spear. At this moment, the patrol team of the Zhonglon Manor appeared. They drew their swords and sabers and surrounded the battlefield. Don't move. Surrender. Otherwise, we'll kill you without mercy, the leader of the patrol team roared. I was defending myself. The other party suddenly attacked me and wanted to kill me, Knight Sorrow explained as he put away his space splitter spear. Come with us to the Zhonglon Manor. There are some things that you can't do just because you want to. The patrol team leader ordered his men to take down Knight Sorrow. Wait. Don't be rough. I'll go with you. Knight Sorrow waved his hand and stopped the patrol team. If they wanted to go to the Zhonglon Manor to settle it, then go. He felt that Jiang Tianheng wouldn't make things difficult for him. As long as one wasn't a fool, they would know what had happened recently. There was no benefit in making things difficult for him. Search Cool Craftsman on WeChat, follow the name of the new work, and read the full text. Said, second update. Chapter 1633. Knight Sorrow was escorted to the Azure Water Manor by the patrol captain and the others. there was no one to entertain him. The patrol captain threw Night Sorrow into the punishment hall like a criminal and had someone guard him before he went to report. At this moment, Night Sorrow felt that identity and status were still very important. Only those without status would be brought here. Who could do this in the primal chaos domain? Such a thing would not happen in the primal chaos domain. After waiting for a moment, a black-clothed man appeared. Night Sorrow. Isn't this Lord Knight of the Blood Battle stage? I am Commander Toot Song of the Azure Water Manor. The black-clothed man recognized Night Sorrow and reported his identity. I am Night Sorrow. Today, an assassin wanted to kill me and I was forced to fight back. Night Sorrow said. This is a misunderstanding. Since someone wants to harm Lord naturally has to fight back. Keep your eyes open in the future. Toot Song roared at the patrol team because there was no need for such a conflict. It might even cause trouble. Thank you, Lord 2, for your understanding. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Toot Song. Lord Knight is a friend of our young Mississippi. They don't know each other. Lord Knight, please don't mind today's matter. Toot Song smiled. I won't mind. It's actually nothing. I haven't seen young Miss Jiang Yu for a while. Night Sorrow nodded. Toot Song then brought Night Sorrow out of the punishment hole. Night Sorrow left behind a packet of heart-cleansing tea. Lord 2, please give this tea to young Miss Jiang. Night Sorrow was sent off by Toot Song and left the Azure Water Manor. After returning to the Night Moon Manor, Night Sorrow took out the assassin's storage ring. Night Sorrow saw a token with the words Eastern Hao carved on it. He immediately understood that the assassin was from the Eastern Hao region. He should have accepted a mission from the Divine Devil Castle. What token is this? Datura looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Didn't Ghost Monkey say that Gong Yufan was looking for someone to kill me? Maybe he went to the Godfiend Castle in the Eastern Hao region and issued a mission. Today, an assassin appeared. This token is his. Night Sorrow tossed the Eastern Hao token to Datura. He really has some tricks up his sleeve. Datura's eyes flashed. Although Night Sorrow was safe and sound, she was a little angry that someone tried to assassinate him. It's nothing. Let them continue. You should trust in my ability to protect myself, so there's no need to worry, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I know, I'm just a little angry. Datura handed the token to Night Sorrow. I originally planned to collect some books and notes about the evil punishing land, but I completely forgot about it. Night Sorrow smiled. The next few days were quiet. Night Sorrow also bought a few notes, but the records were not very detailed. It was not as good as what Lin Xian explained to him. Aluo, I feel that Sister Xian is not simple. The notes are not as detailed as what she told us, Night Sorrow said to Datura when they went out to take a look at the new shop. She's the Imperial Preceptor. We can't see through her cultivation. It's normal that she's not simple. Think about it, not everyone can be Old Song's friend. Moreover, Boss Song is very respectful to her. Every time she sees Sister Xian, she will stand up and greet her, Datura said. 9. 1. That's true. After I go to the evil punishing land, I'll leave the shop here to you, Night Sorrow said to Datura. What? I want to go with you. Don't you want me to obtain some luck? Datura said to Night Sorrow. That's fine too. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow nodded. This time, the battle in the evil punishing land would be centered around the city lord's mansion. It would be difficult, but it shouldn't be too dangerous. Night Sorrow and Datura took a trip back to the Star Moon Lake. The Star Moon City on the Star Moon Lake had already taken shape. Night Sorrow, you're back. I have something to tell you, Qing Emperor said when he saw Night Sorrow. Master, if you have anything to say, just let me know, Night Sorrow said. It's not like that. Master and the other elders have discovered a problem. Our primal chaos realm has opened up a city in the celestial realm. However, if we want to increase our level, we still need to communicate with the outside world. Once we communicate with the outside world, the existence of the Star Moon Lake might be exposed, Qing Emperor said. After hearing Qing Emperor's words, Night Sorrow fell into deep thought. The two principles contradicted each other. You couldn't have your cake and eat it too. Night Sorrow, what if the people who go out have to make an oath? Datura asked. That's forcing. Isn't it bad to force our own people? This isn't what a gentleman would do, Night Sorrow said to Datura. Qing Emperor smiled. This was where he and Night Sorrow were similar. He didn't want to force others and force his own ideas on others. It's true that it's not what a gentleman would do, but it's also not what a villain would do. This is related to the safety of more people in the primal chaos realm. Cultivators roam the Jianghu and may encounter danger at any time. It's possible for them to die or be captured. If they are tortured and interrogated, they have to make an oath. If they reveal the secret of the primal chaos realm, they will die, Datura said. First of all, some people will reject this restriction. Secondly, it's impossible to completely eliminate it. It's easy to leave the Star Moon Lake. You can sneak out without making an oath, Qing Emperor said. That's really not easy to solve. Datura shook his head helplessly. This is a big problem. Fortunately, our teleportation array is strictly guarded. Those who aren't core members and have a good background are not qualified to enter the Star Moon City, Qing Emperor said. It's still because we're not strong enough. If we have the ability to protect the primal chaos realm, we won't have to worry about the secret leaking. Master, let's go with the flow on this matter. I've recognized the teleportation crystal and all the clones. As long as a cultivator with a cultivation level of Heaven Monarch or above teleports, I'll be able to sense it. It's impossible for cultivators at the Emperor level to enter the primal chaos realm. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and made his decision. Alright, let's go with the flow. Qing Emperor supported Night Sorrow's view. Also, since we've decided not to restrict it, we should take more defensive measures and activate the defensive array. This way, if there's a large-scale attack, our people will have enough time to retreat, Night Sorrow said. Since we've decided, it's better to let it go. Night Sorrow, let's use the previous mansion as a survival point for the people in the primal chaos realm to communicate with the outside world. I believe that after we move out, no one will pay attention to the previous night mansion. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and said. Alright, let's do it this way. Master, come with me to the ethereal imperial city later. I have a mansion there. Those who want to go out and develop can go there first, Night Sorrow said. Qing Emperor nodded and went to contact the others. Night Sorrow was the region master of the primal chaos realm. The leaders of the other forces, the Heaven Monarchs, were elders. These matters needed to be communicated and discussed. Then Tang Jianfeng, Lord of Heaven Shenhu, the Wuling Mountain Master, and Lord of Heaven Yuandao all went to the Xingyue City Master's mansion. Then let's go to the ethereal imperial city together. As for the future development, it's up to you. Night Sorrow said. What he wanted to do was to pave the way. Once the way was done, he didn't care too much about how they would proceed. Chapter 1634. They took the teleportation formation and arrived at the Night Moon Villa. Then, they teleported to the Night Mansion in the Azure Dragon district of the Ethereal City. Night Sorrow brought them to the hall of the mansion and made a pot of tea. Then, he told them about the rules and power structure of the Ethereal Imperial City. There are so many Imperial Realm cultivators. The situation is complicated. The Royal Lord here must be an expert, Tang Jianfang said. Yes, the ethereal battle emperor is ranked number 1 on the celestial demon list. His cultivation and combat power are absolutely incredible. Knight Sorrow nodded. Everyone, we have to control those who want to go out. Getting into big trouble is always a problem. We don't have the ability to protect ourselves now. Knight Sorrow can fight Emperor Chu, but what if an imperial emperor intervenes? Knight Sorrow will have to ask for help. If he can't, then the Star Moon City will be gone. Datura said. Here are some notes I collected. They describe the situation in the celestial realm. You can take a look. Also, I don't live here. I have another mansion called the Night Moon Villa. You can teleport there from here, but no one is allowed to go to the Night Moon Villa directly. Knight Sorrow said. Don't worry. We have brought you trouble by coming here. We won't expose you. Wuling Mountain Master nodded to Knight Sorrow. It's not that I'm exposed. It's just that I have a lot of enemies here. There are 7 mansion masters in the ethereal imperial city. 2 of them want to kill me. If someone finds out that you are related to me, then everyone will be in trouble. I'm not afraid of anything. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. What's going on? You're causing trouble again. Do you have enemies? Tang Jianfang looked at Knight Sorrow in surprise. City Master Tang, you're wrong. I've never caused trouble. If trouble comes to me, I can't do anything about it. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. My mistake. It's really a mistake. I mean you're causing trouble again, not you. Ha! Tang Jianfang said with a smile. That's right. There are a lot of troublesome matters and a lot of enemies. They can't do anything to me, but if they want to deal with other people, there won't be any problem. Knight Sorrow said. He didn't want Tang Jianfang and the others to be discovered walking around with him, which would cause trouble. After all, he was the center of attention. Yuan Dao Heavenly Monarch and the rest nodded. Everyone understood what Knight Sorrow meant. After instructing them to change the mansion's signboard, Knight Sorrow and Datura left the Yi Manor. Tang Jianfang and the others needed some time to adjust to the new environment. Qing Emperor, City Lord Tang, Lord Shenhu, since we are already here, we have to be careful and not cause trouble for the Dominator. Besides, the Dominator is fighting at the front. We have to know what difficulties he is facing and what we can do to help, Lord Yuandao said. That makes sense. The Domain Lord never talks about her difficulties, but we have to know. City Lord Tang, let's go out for a walk. Heaven Lord Shen who stood up and said. Look. See Xingyi. Version V Chapter Knight Sorrow and Datura returned to the Night Moon Manor and sat facing each other. Knight Sorrow, the people from the primal chaos realm have decided to come out. It might be troublesome for us. Datura was still worried. It's earlier than I expected. If I can become a Arch, I am confident that I won't be afraid of anyone below the Imperial Emperor realm. However, I can't do it now. However, Aluo, you don't have to worry too much. Master and the others are all experienced. They will take care of things. Knight Sorrow smiled at Datura. Since there was nothing else, Knight Sorrow planned to go to the blood battle stage to find a heaven monarch from the Guanyue Manor to challenge him. However, the God Devil Castle token in his sleeve vibrated. I'm going to the God Devil Castle. They are calling for me. There must be a mission. Knight Sorrow stood up and greeted Datura. He walked around the Night Moon Manor to make sure there was no tail before he went to the God Devil Castle. Knight Sorrow entered the God Devil Castle. Elder Nalan appeared and brought Knight Sorrow into the underground castle. In a private room in the underground castle, Knight Sorrow saw Ling Lai. Both elders are here. What's the mission this time? Yi Shang asked after sitting down. It's not a mission this time. We have something else to tell you. Elder Nalan said. I know that you have been given a mission this time. I even said that it was my decision to give the mission to the God Devil Castle in the Dong Hao region. Leng Lai looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. Elder Nalan had said that the God Devil Castle didn't accept missions from their own people. He didn't understand what was going on this time. I have decided to use the assassination attempt on you by the God Devil Castle as a test. Seeing Night Sorrow in a daze, Leng Lai stated the purpose of the mission. Test. Didn't I go through the test? Night Sorrow asked. You were very outstanding in the previous assessment. You completed the assessment mission in an extremely short period of time and became a gold mission taker. You might not know this, but Ren Fu's ranks are different in the God Fiend Castle. The initial measurement is the time it takes to pass the assessment. Elder Nalan added with a smile. I see. Then what is the purpose of this test? Night Sorrow asked. He knew that he knew too little about the God Devil Castle. It is a promotion of your position in the God Devil Castle. If you are willing, I can apply for it for you. After you pass, you will be a law enforcer of the God Devil Castle. Your authority is different from the mission holder. You have the right to know some things and the right to use some resources. Elder Nalan said. Then I will take the liberty to ask. How many ranks are there in the God Devil Castle? Are they all free? Night Sorrow asked. The God Devil Castle is divided into several ranks: Ren Fu, Law Enforcer, Law Protector, Elder, and Consecrator. They all have the same freedom. The only difference is that those above Law Protector have the duty to protect the honor of the God Devil Castle. Because those above Law Protector are the core of the God Devil Castle. Elder Nalan said. Okay, I will do it. Night Sorrow nodded. Hee hee. I have already reported it. Now we are waiting for a reply. Leng Lai said. I thought that the two elders were going to give me some mission. Seeing that there was nothing else, Night Sorrow took out a tea set and made a pot of tea. You have so many things to do recently. How could we give you a mission? Oh right, you are going to the evil Punisher land, right? We have prepared some information for you. Take a look. This is the treatment that belongs to law enforcers. We will give it to you first. Leng Lai took out 2 letters and handed them to Night Sorrow. Thank you, elders. Night Sorrow said. Hurry up and send it back. Leng Lai reminded Night Sorrow with a cold face. Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that Leng Lai was a person with a cold face but a warm heart. If he did not take care of him, the examination and the letters would not have appeared. Then Night Sorrow will go back first. The 2 elders can drink these 2 jars of wine slowly. Night Sorrow left the 2 jars of wine behind and then left the God Devil Castle. Half-Emperor. There is nothing to say about this little guy's aptitude. His future achievements are limitless. Yuan Ji is really blind. Elder Nalan said with some emotion. Don't you have a friendship with Yuan Ji? Didn't he come to you for this matter? Leng Lai asked. Chapter 1635. Friendship. You dare to talk about friendship with Yuan Ji, but this king doesn't, Elder Nalan said with a smile. Leng Lai smiled. What did this mean? It meant that Yuan Ji wasn't a successful person. Elder Nalan had known him for many years, but still didn't dare to talk about friendship with him. Others didn't know, but Leng Lai knew that Elder Nalan was an important member of Ethereal City's City Lord's mansion. He had known Yuan Ji for countless years. Let's not talk about him. It will be difficult for him to show his face in the future. He tricked Song Ning, and according to Song Ning's personality, as long as he dares to show himself, he will definitely hunt him down, Elder Nalan snorted. Song Ning has a strong personality. He was tricked by him and took away the colored glass sacred bone that originally belonged to Night Sorrow. This made Song Ning feel guilty towards Night Sorrow, so this matter won't end so easily. This time, Yuan Ji seems to have left the colored glass sacred bone behind, but in reality, the gains don't make up for the losses, Leng Lai nodded. Oftentimes, the onlooker sees the game more clearly. As the person involved, Yuan Ji was reluctant to part with the colored glass sacred bone, but in reality, he had lost more. After returning to Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow began to read the handbook. The handbook was more detailed. The information provided by the God Demon Castle was much better than the books bought on the market. Evil Punisher Land had been formed for hundreds of millions of years. There was no way to know how long it had been, but it was the spatial world source that Gue Zhu had placed there. Because of its special attributes, and because Gue Zhu may have planned this all those years ago, the evil execution land intersected with the Netherworld River, which passed through the middle of the evil execution land. Evil Punisher Land was connected to a dangerous place in the Ethereal Dynasty, forming a spatial passage. Normally, it wasn't open and was completely controlled by Ethereal Battle Emperor. Due to the special circumstances of the spatial world and the influence of the Yellow Spring River, there were some evil spirits inside. These evil spirits were very high level, and there were even Emperor Realm existences. Normally, when a spatial world was born and matured, there wouldn't be any Emperor Realm existences. However, this was not true in Evil Punisher Land. Evil Punisher Land was born because of Emperor Realm experts, and there were Emperor Realm auras in the spatial world. Originally, evil spirits didn't have bodies. They were soul-type creatures. However, there were skeletons floating in the Yellow Springs River. They were occupied by some evil spirits, so they had bodies. The skeletons in the Yellow Springs River were not complete, so the evil spirits used many incomplete skeletons to form their bodies. This ability could only be possessed by evil spirits above the saint level. Low-level evil spirits could not get close to the Yellow Springs River. An evil spirit with a body would have a flame of life. A saint evil spirit with a green flame in its eyes, a king evil spirit with a yellow flame in its eyes, and an overlord evil spirit with a red flame in its eyes. The depth of the flame's color was the manifestation of the evil spirit's level of attainment. The Ethereal Battle Emperor had decided to open the Evil Punisher Gate once every 10 million years. The Evil Punisher Gate was the passage between the Celestial Realm and the Evil Punisher Land. Its purpose was to suppress the evil spirits in the Evil Punisher Land, as well as to accumulate luck and resources. If the Evil Punisher Land was strong, then it would suppress and harm the Celestial Realm. The evil chi would infiltrate and corrode the Celestial Realm, so suppressing the Evil Punisher Land was in accordance with the Celestial Realm's heavenly way. Evil spirits themselves were also resources. Their flames of life were extremely valuable, and after refining them, they could strengthen a cultivator's soul force. There was also a legend that the extremely powerful Gue Zhu had left behind a great treasure in the Evil Punisher Land, but no one knew what it was. Translator, Nyoibo Studio Editor, Nyoibo Studio, Night Sorrow, Gue Zhu is a master. Since he was able to release a world source, it's normal for him to leave something behind in the Evil Punisher Land, Datura said. Night Sorrow returned to read the letter and immediately shared it with him. Yes, but these things can only be chanced upon and not sought. Even if you encounter them, they won't be easy to obtain. Gue Zhu exiled the space source and left behind a great treasure for himself. He won't let others get it easily. For us, it's most practical to go in and earn some luck and merit, as well as some resources, Night Sorrow said. Ordinary cultivators fought for the Celestial Realm and obtained luck, while cultivators of the body of merit obtained merit. The heavenly way differentiated between good and evil. Good and evil, and that was merit. Night Sorrow was the merit great sage, and the light of merit in his body was extremely dense. In addition, it was still increasing, and he was moving towards becoming a merit heavenly monarch. Currently, Night Sorrow hadn't done anything with merit, but the peace and stability of the 9 domains world, the reincarnation world, the black-yellow great world, and the Shinwu great world were all thanks to him. It could be said that hundreds of millions of creatures enjoyed the stable life brought by Night Sorrow. They were deeply grateful, so Night Sorrow could continue to obtain merit power. I understand. I have to say that the celestial realm is rich in resources. It's very difficult for us to obtain treasures that can strengthen our souls and assist in the cultivation of soul power in the chaotic realm, but it's easier in the celestial realm. For example, the soul cultivation liquid is extremely difficult to obtain. The soul cultivation liquid I can use is because you brought it to me. The fire of life of this evil spirit has the same effect as the soul cultivation liquid, Datura said. Night Sorrow nodded, but he also understood that the prerequisite for obtaining resources was strength. Without strength, resources couldn't be obtained. Instead, one would lose one's life. How's your time and space attribute cultivation? Haven't you had the opportunity to become a heavenly monarch yet? Datura asked. Not yet, but I have some strange feeling. I feel that as long as I become a heavenly monarch of time and space, I might be able to directly comprehend the momentum of time and space, Night Sorrow said. Directly comprehend. Datura looked at Night Sorrow with some surprise. Yes, perhaps it's because of my special bloodline talent. I have 7 bloodline talent energy points in my body. The first one releases laws, and the other releases willpower. The 7th bloodline talent energy point that I haven't been able to activate for a long time contains the momentum of time and space, Night Sorrow said. That's amazing. Your Yi family's bloodline talent is really amazing. Unfortunately, the children's bloodline talent isn't as strong as yours. Datura shook his head. What do you mean by your Yi family? It's our Yi family. In fact, they have already surpassed the ancestors of the Yi family. In the past, the strongest bloodline talent was great ancestor Yi Tian, who had 6 bloodline talent energy points. Qin Yan and Yu Jun's 6 bloodline talent energy points were comparable to great ancestors. Xiaolei and Little Luo both had 6.5. The 7th one isn't obvious, but it still has potential, Night Sorrow said with a smile. While chatting, Night Sorrow also made a decision. His clone would stay in the ethereal dynasty while his original body would go out. He needed an opportunity to break through now. Once his time and space attribute improved, his life-saving ability would increase greatly. In addition, the time and space attributes' improvement speed and ability to assist in battle would also increase greatly. The ethereal city lord's mansion had already started preparing to enter the evil Punisher land. In the city lord's mansion, Zhang Ning's residence, Lin Xian and Zhang Ning were drinking tea. Miss, the people from Zhaohua dynasty want to enter the evil Punisher land with us. What's your decision? Zhang Ning asked. Why are you in such a hurry? They won't let them in. Also, this time, Night Sorrow will enter with us. You have to be careful, Lin Xian said. Chapter 1636. Why don't we just reject them? Zhang Ning asked. There's nothing wrong with that. What can they do if we don't share the loot with them? Lin Xian snorted. Sure, young miss is domineering. Zhang Ning said with a smile. This king doesn't know what the evil punishing land contains. You should know that Gue Zhu became famous much earlier than us on the celestial and demon list. The great demon king was able to kill him because he was stronger than Gue Zhu, but no one dares to underestimate Gue Zhu when it comes to scheming, Zhang Ning said. I understand. Zhang Ning nodded. It's good that you understand. Cultivators can't be afraid, but it's always right to be cautious. Lin Xian reminded Zhang Ning. This time, the city lord's mansion is in charge and we're also recruiting some loose cultivators. Young miss, what do you think about the selection of loose cultivators? What if there are loose cultivators from other forces who want to enter? Tsang Ning asked. That's how it is, but isn't the selection still up to us? If we let loose cultivators enter, the ethereal dynasty won't accuse us of not giving others a chance. Although we're not afraid, we should avoid it as much as possible. Lin Xian said. In the divine demon castle of Donghao City, a young man came. The young man carried a long sword on his back and had an extremely sharp aura. He was the sword, as if he wanted to pierce through the sky. After he arrived, Elder Qiu appeared. Elder Qiu brought him into the underground castle. Protector Donghao, why are you here? Elder Qiu asked after entering the underground castle. I'm here to ask about something. The young man sat down and said. He was the young lord of Donghao Mountain, Dong Haojue. He was the protector of the divine demon castle. Yes, Protector Donghao, tell me what it is. Elder Qiu said. My younger brother died in battle. After his clone fell many years ago, he didn't cultivate another clone. This time, it was his original body that died. I asked someone to divine that he was last seen in the divine demon castle. This means that he died while carrying out a mission for the divine demon castle. I want to know the details of this mission, Dong Haojue said. That's right. He died while carrying out a mission for the divine demon castle. However, this mission is a little special, so I can't tell you. Cultivators usually had a soul crystal. After death, the soul crystal would dim, so their family and friends would know. What mission is it that a protector like me can't know? Dong Haojue looked at Elder Qiu with sparkling eyes. Because it involves the internal affairs of the God-fiend castle, I can't tell you, said Elder Qiu. In that case, can I assume that he was tricked to death? Dong Haojue's expression was very ugly. Protector Dong Hao, be careful with your words. You're a protector, so you should know the rules of our divine devil castle. You're free to accept missions, and you can refuse them. We're not forcing you. Elder Qiu was a bit dissatisfied because Dong Haojue's words were equivalent to questioning the divine devil castle. Then let me ask, under what circumstances can I learn the details of this mission? Dong Haojue changed the topic. Elder, you are qualified to know the details of the mission, but so what? You can't leak the news, Elder Qiu said. I didn't want to leak it. I'll take care of him myself. Dong Haojue's voice was filled with killing intent. Then let's wait until Protector Dong Haojue becomes an elder first. Elder Qiu didn't want to say anything else because this topic couldn't be continued. Dong Haojue left, and Elder Qiu cursed inwardly. He was cursing Lang Lai because the mission Lang Lai gave her was very deceptive. It was equivalent to offending Dong Haojue. Dong Haojue was very angry. The one who died was his younger brother, so he had to take revenge. However, he also knew that he couldn't use force to get clues. He knew how powerful the divine devil castle was, or rather, the Donghao mountain could flatten a divine devil castle, but what about the consequences? The Donghao mountain was destroyed, and the divine devil castle had a precedent of killing an imperial emperor. On Night Sorrow's day, he received another notification from the divine devil castle. Then, he arrived at the divine devil castle. Night Sorrow, give me the token. I'll change it for you. Lang Lai looked at Night Sorrow and said. Then, Lang Lai changed Night Sorrow's token into a law enforcement token. Lang Lai also told Night Sorrow about the authority of the law enforcement token. The law enforcement token could use some information about the divine devil castle. Of course, it was confidential, so he wasn't qualified to know. This was enough for Night Sorrow. What he lacked now was understanding the celestial realm. Elder Qiu came the day before yesterday. The one you killed last time was one of the young lords of the Donghao mountain. There's a protector of the divine devil castle in the Donghao mountain. He's eyeing this matter. Lang Lai said. Damn. This is troublesome again. Night Sorrow was stunned. It hasn't been exposed yet. Even the protector doesn't have the authority to check the details of the mission. The one in the Dong Hao Mountain still doesn't know that one of their people died in your hands. Leng Lai smiled and said. He could see that Night Sorrow was shocked, but not afraid. In other words, there won't be any trouble for the time being. That's good. Night Sorrow relaxed. It hasn't been exposed yet, but once the protector of the Dong Hao Mountain passes the elder test. Well, you know. Leng Lai coughed. What's the strength required to pass the elder test? Night Sorrow asked. 4-star emperors can participate in the test. If they're strong enough, they can pass. Leng Lai said. That means the protector of the Dong Hao Mountain is currently a beginner-level emperor. Then it's fine. I still have time. Night Sorrow smiled. 5 plus square root O, it's good that you're confident. I'm the one who caused this. When the time comes, I'll see how to deal with it. Of course, it's best if you're strong enough. With strength, who would dare to find trouble with you? Leng Lai nodded. He admired Night Sorrow's attitude. This is the letter about the evil punishing land. Junior has read it. Thank you for your help, Elder Leng. Night Sorrow took out the letter about the evil punishing land and returned it to Elder Leng Lai. You know what you need to know. Also, the people of the Zhaohua dynasty have arrived at the ethereal city. They might be here for the evil punishing land. Be careful when you enter. Let me tell you something. For others, entering the evil punishing land is an adventure to gain luck. However, it's not the same for you. A virtuous body will be rejected because it's an evil place. In short, you have to be careful. The spatial world left behind by Gue Zhu is definitely not that simple. According to the records, Gue Zhu might have left a great treasure in the evil punishing land. Leng Lai reminded Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow will remember. Night Sorrow nodded to Leng Lai. After leaving the Divine Devil Castle, Night Sorrow smiled. For the first time, he felt that the virtuous body was a burden and had negative effects. In addition, even after Gue Zhu was killed by the Great Demon King, he still had such influence, which made Yi Shang admire him greatly. No one could be certain whether Gue Zhu had truly fallen or not, and no one dared to speculate about the arrangements of a heaven-defying character. Chapter 1637. Everyone had their own way of survival, and also their own way of protecting themselves. Night Sorrow had arranged for the 9 domains world to be impregnable. As long as one's cultivation was higher than his, they wouldn't be able to enter. This was his way of protecting himself. As for what Gue Zhu had left behind, it was unknown. Night Sorrow took a walk around the Heavenly Master Pavilion. It was currently under Lu Yun's care. Night Sorrow put away the high-grade pills. There was no one guarding it, so it wasn't safe. He planned to clean it up and not do business here in the future. It was just a choice between selling it or giving it to Qing Emperor and the others. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that it was a good idea to open a tea house. This way, he could gather some information. Right now, what the primal chaos realm needed the most was information. Then, Night Sorrow arranged for Lin Mu to move to a new shop. The Heavenly Master Pavilion was renamed the Tea House, and Lu Yun was the shopkeeper. Night Sorrow brought Lu Yun to Night Moon Villa and introduced Qing Emperor and the others to Lu Yun. Master, City Lord Tang, the tea house is filled with people from all walks of life. You can come and sit in the tea house more often, Night Sorrow said. After handing over Night Sorrow returned to Night Moon Villa. When Night Sorrow returned, Lin Xian, Zhang Ning, and Datura were drinking tea and chatting. Where did you go for a run? Zhang Ning asked. I plan on going to Evil Punisher with the people from the City Lord's mansion. If I don't understand the situation, I'll be in the dark when the time comes. Yishang sat down and poured himself a cup of tea. Opportunities are given to those who are prepared. I believe you'll have a great harvest if you go. Lin Xian nodded at Night Sorrow in appreciation. After chatting for a while, Lin Xian, and Song Ning left. They planned to go out for a walk. Night Sorrow and Datura talked about the results of the Heavenly Master Pavilion. Just be careful not to expose your relationship with him. Otherwise, it'll be easy for problems to arise. Your weakness is the people around you. If the opponent uses the people around you to make an issue out of it, you won't be able to deal with it, Datura said. Let's remind them later. Night Sorrow nodded. He was also worried about this. Lin Xianer and Song Ning arrived at a tea house. Miss, I met with the people from the Radiant Dynasty yesterday and rejected them. However, they insisted on meeting you. They didn't seem to care, Song Ning said. Go and call them to the City Lord's mansion. I don't believe you, so I won't let them in. What can they do? Lin Xian's face turned cold. Lin Xian returned to the City Lord's mansion while Song Ning went to the VIP house. The people of the Zhaohua dynasty stayed in the Misty Dynasty's VIP house. During the reception, the elders of the City Lord mansion had already arrived. Many people from the Zhaohua dynasty had also come. The leaders were the young Emperor Zhao Yang and the great elder Zhao Muyu. The Zhao Yang dynasty is very arrogant now, huh? Which one of them insisted on meeting me? Seeing the people from the Zhaohua dynasty, Lin Xianer's eyes behind the veil flickered. I'm Zhao Muyu. The great elder of the Zhaohua dynasty stood out and cupped his fists. Who do you think you are? Can't the number one city lord under my command receive you? Lin Xianer stood up and waved her arm. Zhao Muyu was sent flying while vomiting blood. You're called Zhao Muyu, right? I'll let you live today. However, if you dare to step into my Misty dynasty again, I'll kill you. Lin Xianer sat down. She sent Zhao Muyu flying out of the City Lord's mansion's main hall. Lin Xianer expressed her attitude and stance. The Misty dynasty wasn't a place where anyone could strut around. Zhao Muyu wanted to meet her, but he didn't consider his own status. The difference between their statuses was too great. They weren't on the same level. Battle Emperor, please calm down. Zhao Yang has something to say. The young emperor of the Zhaohua dynasty stood out. What else? Speak. Lin Xianer looked at Zhao Yang and said. No one can question Battle Emperor's decision. Since Battle Emperor has decided that the Zhaohua dynasty can't participate, then the Zhaohua dynasty won't participate. However, Junior heard that Battle Emperor is recruiting rogue cultivators and wants to give them a chance. Junior Zhao Yang wants to join. Zhao Yang bowed and said. Zhao Yang and Zhao Muyu came here to discuss with the Misty dynasty about joining the ranks of the evil punishers. Since Song Ning refused, they wanted to meet Lin Xianer and have a good talk. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. However, no one could withstand Lin Xianer's fury. So what if Zhao Muyu was an emperor lord? He was sent flying with one move. Lin Xianer didn't have any killing intent. If she did, then Zhao Muyu would be dead. Song Ning is in charge of recruiting rogue cultivators. I don't care. Go back and tell Zhao Shang that there are many forces that sent spies to the Misty dynasty. However, after I made the announcement, the first to join was your Zhaohua dynasty. What? Are you trying to show off how efficient your spies are? Hurry up and take them back. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences. Also, don't put on airs in front of me in the future. I hate people who put on airs. Lin Xianer stood up from the city lord's chair and left. Zhao Yang's expression was very ugly. Lin Xianer really didn't give him face. It was like a slap to his face. This matter is really not handled well. Tsang Ning shook his head. He naturally knew that Lin Xianer was very unhappy. Xiao Yang will report this matter to my father. Also, Xiao Yang wants to go in and train. Even if it's just me, I hope that Tsang Ning will agree. Xiao Yang bowed to Tsang Ning. Tsang Ning nodded. Since we said that we're recruiting rogue cultivators, then we won't miss you. You can report to Tsang Ning residence later. After Xiao Yang expressed his gratitude, he left the city lord's residence with his men. Zhao Muyu had been standing outside the city lord's residence. He didn't dare to move. Leaving directly would be disrespectful to the Misty Battle Emperor. He didn't have the courage to go in again. After the people from the Zhaohua dynasty left, Tsang Ning went to his courtyard in the city lord's residence. At this moment, Lin Xianer was there. Miss, I still want to reject that guy. They obviously have ulterior motives. Tsang Ning said. She wanted to reject just now, but she received a message from the Misty Battle Emperor. It's not appropriate to reject. That way, the Zhaohua dynasty will definitely spread the news that the Misty dynasty doesn't do what we say. So what if we let him in? What can he do? It's good that he has ulterior motives. That means that the Zhaohua dynasty knows something. If he wants to play tricks, then bring it on. Lin Xianer snorted coldly. Then, shouldn't I go and clean up the spies? Tsang Ning asked. There's no need. There are many spies in the Misty dynasty. We can't clean them all up. Let them do what they want. We're not afraid. Lin Xianer shook her head. Tsang Ning didn't say anything else. In the celestial realm, there were often conflicts between forces. However, the Misty dynasty was very stable. No one dared to attack because Lin Xianer was in charge. Therefore, it didn't matter if there were spies. Also, pay more attention to Night Sorrow. His native people have come to the Misty dynasty. If anyone dares to scheme against him, he will have a weakness. Lin Xianer said. I understand. I will do it well. Tsang Ning was stunned for a moment.